right there.
We had some potential gigs in July in Moscow that are now canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. But see, here's the thing.
Better cancel
Here's the
those
thing.
things. Cancel.
I just got word last week that they're like definitely not happening. But here's the thing. We would go.
Here's the shitty
We would
thing.
go. We would
It's
go
not the
right now.
people, man.
It's not
That's
the
not
people.
the people that
the
want to
people,
fucking
man.
rock.
And I don't
I
care.
know it's
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. With your host, Craig Casamas and Big J Curran.
We all started in a garage. Why
This
not
is true.
finish in one?
Right.
We've all finished in a few garages, actually.
Yeah.
So a couple of those late nights.
Yeah. About that.
Anywhere you can. Anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. I'm stoked to have you guys in. We're here for a big event happening next week. We'll get that out of the way first. We got awesome. You guys are doing a record release on the 16th, right, of April.
Super looking
Record
forward to
release
it.
and beer release, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Casa Agria in Oxnard, Saturday, April 16th. It's an old man show time-wise. Doors are at 6. The show's over at 10. Night Demon's playing. Craig's band.
Yeah.
Tongue is playing. 2 bands. That's all you need, right?
Yeah, it's perfect, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely old man party.
Yeah, we have a beer coming out called Beer of the Demon in honor of our album Year of the Demon.
Nice.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
just
why not?
Keep it.
It's not really a new record. We put out 5 singles in 2020, and they were all on 7-inch, and but they had B-sides that were only on the vinyl.
Oh,
and
okay.
A lot of people, they just collect this shit. They don't even listen to it, like
Right.
a 7-inch record, and so a lot of people never heard the B-side. So this is kind of like, we thought the pandemic was going to be 2 weeks, and then 2 months, and then a year, and then when it was 2 years, then
Yeah.
we were like, we can't.
Yeah.
We didn't get to tour on any of this stuff. So
Right.
we have a new studio record coming out later in the year, but for now it's like we're going to get back on the road. So we're going to put out this, it's a compilation,
Right.
in all its glory. But like, we just wanted to play at home. I mean, we haven't played in Ventura since October 2018.
I was going to ask, I mean,
Jesus.
since what, like the last Frost and
and
Fire?
Fire, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's been a long fucking
It's
time.
been a long time.
And I've talked about it on the pod, but I had the pleasure of going with you guys to that Beer and Metal Fest, and I think I saw you maybe the one time, you know what I mean? Like it was you were in the 2018 version, right?
Time you ever saw
And
me
it
in
was
the
like,
band,
what a massive fucking difference it is from what it was to what it is now. I mean, I was shocked at the professional fucking I mean, it's still raw, it's still gnarly, you know what I mean? But I was like, it really made me think, like, man, have I really been in a band? Like, you know what I mean? Because the way you guys move, the way you guys set things
Well,
up,
from
you're
what
so fucking professional.
you saw till then, there's probably been what, 200 shows,
Right.
At
or
least.
something like that,
At
or
least.
more.
Yeah.
At
Right.
least.
Right.
So
And
that
all
alone
over
just-
the place.
If you can't figure it out by then just
Yeah.
stop.
Right.
think that's-
100%.
I think that's what it is, like a lot of the stuff. I mean, even when in the days when Brent was in the band, like there would be things that we would do on stage that like we never planned, but
Right.
sometimes something happens when you're playing and then it's like, oh, let's do that again, kind of thing.
Right.
It was the same with Armand. Like we just kind of like, there's these moments like you can always remember when it first happened on
Mhm.
stage, but you're just like, okay, that's like a thing that we do now, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like things like if we're gonna run across a stage, you take the front. I'll
Right.
take
Yeah.
the back. Let's always stick with that, because if not, we're gonna run into
we're
each
gonna
other.
have a collision.
Shit like that,
Yeah.
because
Totally.
we have done that.
And every one
Yeah.
of us has been nailed by the bass player.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Or by the fucking.
I definitely have been nailed by the bass player.
This is touche.
Yeah.
But I've hit Nick in the face. Brent's hit me in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, because you don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
let whatever happen. And usually we were playing on a fucking stage this big most of the time.
Oh,
you know?
we still do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your European shows, you do a lot of other, because I know you guys do a lot of festivals and stuff when
Yeah.
you're over there as well. But do you guys do a lot of the more of those little
Oh, yeah,
Oh
underground
yeah,
spots?
there's
Because
still
they
club shows.
just
that are, like,
insane, man.
it'll be insane. It'll be you can't move in the place, but that's
Yeah.
fucking like
Yeah.
And the
that's
energy's
that's it.
just
You know what I mean?
ramped
It's
up
just the
like you're
coolest
not going to
shit.
get
They don't
anything
have-
like that
yeah.
here.
And they don't have air conditioning out there. Like it really doesn't exist.
Wow.
And-
yeah.
The summers, I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know anything about global warming, but like the summers are getting progressively hotter there every year by like a degree or
Yeah,
two. And like, dude, those guys feel it. They're like, holy fuck,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they really struggle with it, man.
I mean, I never
Yeah.
thought that I'd ever, like, as a kid growing up and even into my probably 30s, I'd ever want an air conditioner in my house.
Out here, we
Out
never
here.
we
Yeah.
never had it, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
and I'm seriously like, now I have an air conditioner in my bedroom,
right?
and
Right.
I'm like, I know people that have put air conditioning at their house now.
You know what's funny
know?
though? Like, I think you're like on the cusp living here because
Yeah.
like once you get up, because I remember like even when I was a kid, like I had a friend like who
Mhm.
lived above Foothill. It's like they had air conditioning,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like,
they could afford it.
or like a guy,
Yeah.
or like a
too.
guy in Ojai, you know.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But like,
You
yeah,
need
we,
it out
we
there.
grew up in Oxnard. Like, definitely, I never knew
No
anybody
AC.
there.
Yeah.
No.
I
Yeah.
didn't know anybody there that could afford air
Yeah,
conditioning.
so don't need no
We were
AC.
lucky to get
Yeah.
ice.
You got it in your window,
Yeah,
man.
this
Yeah.
place, shockingly enough, has heat, but no AC.
No AC.
You know? Yeah. So you're like being 2 stories, you're like, you motherfucker.
Mhm.
It's
Isn't it part of
hotter
the
than
same
shit up
thing?
there.
Like you got to run all the shit.
It's the
so
same
might as
fucking
well
thing.
like
I don't know.
put the AC thing.
You
in
got to
there.
have a fucking AC unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a whole nother
right.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
But also I lived in the desert. I grew up in the desert my whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that AC is awesome. But when you run it out there, you're talking about $400 or $500
I mean, right, it's
fucking
gotta be
bills a month.
extremely
It's
expensive, right?
bananas.
Right.
Like you literally guys they save to pay the fucking bill, in
Yeah.
there. And we've always been so spoiled in Ventura. It's like for the majority of our lives, the hottest it ever got was 85
Yeah.
fucking
Right.
degrees,
Yep.
Especially if you go to a place like Europe, you know what I mean, where they
Yeah.
don't have it, doesn't exist, and they're not used to it being like that. It's
Yeah.
insane,
Yeah, it's real. You can really feel it out there though now, and like they're starting to get like a little fed up with it. Like it's almost
Yeah.
crisis mode, you know,
Yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, man,"
Yeah.
you know, this
Well,
shit's
it's like,
real.
if the earth
Playing,
wasn't
playing
flat,
in
it would
essentially
be
a
fine.
dungeon.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
downstairs in a basement with 200 people
Yeah.
danced around like maniacs.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
rock and roll, though, right?
Yeah.
Heavy
It
metal.
is, man.
Fucking, that's the
Yeah.
way you want it. Hot, sweaty, and loud, and
Yeah.
drunk.
I mean, obviously, you guys do the majority of your touring in Europe at this point. It
Yeah.
has been the case for at least the last few years.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like pre-COVID. I mean,
Mhm.
because there's and a lot of people don't know this. There's such a massive difference on the touring between Europe and touring in America.
Oh, it's huge. Like
You
I know that we're doing this record release show, but like, we had to schedule it for when we could do it. But the album actually came out last week, and it debuted at number 30 on the German charts. So like,
Right.
not the metal
Wow.
charts, like the charts.
The charts.
Yeah.
Like
Damn.
ABBA's greatest hits was like 2 spots behind us, Yeah. And I'm like, and this,
It's so weird, man. But
this,
it's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a double-edged sword because like we're from here and like you want to be,
Right.
and like I spent a lot of time in the UK too, and it's always like America and the UK, it's like that's where you want to be big for rock,
Right.
But and like just on the way over here, we got offered to be direct support and for Pentagram for a US tour in June,
Wow. Yeah.
but we're in Europe.
Right.
Like, so it's like, fuck, finally we got something good happening here. And like, we have commitments over there,
Right.
but look, we're not complaining, but like this year, I think we'll be going over there like 5 or 6 times for extended periods.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the hospitality is better. The pay is fucking better. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know you guys have a whole system built over there
Yeah.
at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
where you guys just can fly in and use your gear that you have.
Yeah.
Over there.
We have.
I mean, that's
backline,
such a
everything.
massive move, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, you do it
Yeah.
enough times and like you rent a van and you rent gear every
Mhm.
time, you're like, man, your money is just like, where's it going? You
Yeah.
know? And so you want to use your own shit and it's good to invest in that. And we did a thing where before the pandemic, like when we weren't touring, we would rent this stuff out to other bands. And so we can get them a better deal than the big companies are going to give them.
Right,
And
right.
then we also can make a little bit of scratch while we're not there.
totally.
So it's just like, when you have to treat your band like a fucking business,
I know. Yeah. It's
or
hard.
your watering hole like a business.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you have to start thinking about these things, and then you start thinking about your age and you're like, God damn, dude,
Yeah.
I don't feel that age at all, but it's like, you know, I want to be able to have, you know, to be somewhat responsible about it, right?
Well, when you
Right.
start getting in, you know, you're talking to an old man. When
Yeah.
you start getting to a certain place, you're like, fuck, man, one of these days I got to stop doing this, you know, and when I stop doing this, what the fuck am I going to do?
Right.
You know, and so
But
you
no,
buy a bar.
that's
so
what I'm
then
saying,
that way you just know you're going to die really young and you don't have to worry about the retirement.
but that's what I'm saying. In
Your
your,
liver
in your
gives out.
defense,
Young
though,
is a
at least you
caveat,
bought the
but, you know.
bar, you know, like
Yeah.
instead of just hanging out there, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
you know, like you
it's
got
not healthy for an
No.
Irishman to buy a bar. It's not. I'm telling you.
I know. I spent months in Ireland this past
Yeah.
year, and it's but
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like you have to invest, right? And like
Yeah.
investing in yourself is always a great thing, right?
Mhm.
But like you have to do something with that, because like even if like you save money, like I was always taught to save, you know, like my grandparents were like from that Great Depression era, they're European, you know, everything was always about saving. But it's like now if you save your money, like it's just not worth anything next year. You know?
Totally, dude.
Oh
It's
my
like-
god, dude.
You know, like you have to put into something that it's gonna work for you in some way.
Right,
But it's like,
right.
what is that? Is that like, is it in this fucking cryptocurrency? Like, what is it? Like,
And
Yeah.
it's so confusing.
I know.
I somebody convinced me, said, hey, look, man, I got this penny stock. It's gonna blow up, and this is why.
Yeah.
And he laid it out for me. I read into it. I agreed with him, and I invested a lot of money. And it's
And you
gone.
bought a bar.
yeah,
It was gone. No, it's just gone.
It's
And
just
I
gone,
I'm
dude,
just,
yeah.
and it's sitting there,
Yeah.
and I look and
Look.
go, okay, hopefully one of these days it goes back up.
Right.
You know,
Nobody
to at least
ever
I can
knows
re.
what it's going to do.
No,
That's
Right.
the thing. No matter
No.
how much they
it's
say,
like gambling.
it is.
Yeah,
it is
and the same thing with
gambling.
buying a bar or anything else
Right.
we do. You know, with
Right.
what you guys are doing, you're really gambling on
Well, yeah,
yourself.
we could definitely.
And that's
lose.
But
awesome.
see, that's what
I don't know.
that's where I think it lies. Like I think a lot of these people that are successful in like investing in crypto, I think they just know a lot about it. You know, it's like
Mhm.
they're spending all their time and they're very educated about it. That's why they do well. Just like, dude, there's people that go to fucking casinos every weekend and clean up
And
because
kill.
they know how to gamble. They're
Right.
like, okay, I know how this fucking works,
Right.
you know? So I think it's like whatever you're into, you got to find a way to make a living off of that. Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
Well, and you're musicians. You know music. You know how to fucking do it. And it's so rare that you find a human that can figure out how to monetize that. And like none of us were making you guys are making, I'm sure, enough to survive, right?
well,
You know,
yeah,
and
we
if
have
you're
to, we're
making more
still
money than
hustlers.
good for fucking you.
Yeah.
But you have to have that mentality, that same business owner mentality to really make it in music.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm just so stoked that you guys have, of all the bands in Ventura, you know what I mean? Like the Nardcore lore, the fucking all this shit, right? Night Demon is the one that's out there and doing it, like really still doing it. Like all of, you know, a lot of the other guys are touring off the shit they did 30 fucking years ago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is awesome. Like it's great. It's amazing that they've been able to do that. But to do that now and to
Yeah.
make that
Yeah.
fucking path for yourself now is such a major fucking feat that not many people have.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? It takes a
I mean,
real
in-
fucking shark to
Oh,
do that.
well, we just
you
had
know?
to commit to
It's
it. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you have to
Like,
commit.
It's a lot of
you know?
work, and it's a lot of like, you know, putting things aside and not, you know, I don't know, like maybe we couldn't have, you can, you know, having a family or something. I
Right.
don't know if
Oh,
you
it's
have
not
to
in the
be able
books,
to pull it
dude.
off.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I
not
mean?
in the books.
or
maybe
like the amount
eventually
of
or-
things that we've missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it, like when weird shit, as long as we've been doing it, like I can't tell you how many times, like the wedding thing, okay, but like the funeral thing,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
come up more times than you know.
Right.
Like somebody dies in your family or somebody,
Yeah.
and it's like, and your family's
mean, you're
telling
right.
you,
Sorry.
like your family's telling you, like you got to
Yeah.
keep going, you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
you know, like don't come home.
Right.
You know, and it's like or well, like my grandfather died, we were on tour, they delayed the funeral 2 months, and I'm
Wow.
like, okay, I mean that was cool, but it's like that doesn't
Wow.
always happen that way, you
No,
know?
man.
No.
You
So-
sacrifice a lot for that. And that's
Yeah.
where I was faced with the Wrath. It was like
Mhm.
I was in a band that either had to shit or get off the pot. Like we're touring.
You
9 months
guys
out
were
of the
right
year.
at that moment.
We were right that
Yeah.
moment, dude. And I chose to walk away. And I don't fucking regret it.
No.
You know what I mean? Because I have kids that I have to feed, and
Yeah.
I refuse to be I try to be a not terrible dad, but you know, well, time will
Well,
tell.
see,
you
hey,
know?
here's one cool thing. Here's
Time
yeah,
will
but here's
tell,
one
you know?
cool thing. Like at least
Yeah.
like okay, so you guys toured and you guys put out records, and like those things live forever. And
Right.
it's not I mean, dude, there's so much noise out there now. It's
Oh, yeah.
hard. It's hard to break through, but like you guys put out records on a legit label.
Mhm.
And so what I've seen, like, you know, you guys have come to the festival and stuff, you know, a lot of these bands that people love,
Mhm.
I mean, it's like they put out their records 20, 30 years ago,
Right.
and the internet has been like this whole thing. So like, you never know what's going to happen with that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's the same thing with Sirathungal. Like they stopped for 20,
Right.
they stopped for 25 years, right? They never made a penny as a band. They started in 1971, they quit in 1992.
right.
25 years later, they get back together, and it's like,
Better than ever.
dude, they headline every festival. They get paid, they get paid in the 5 figures per gig. Like,
Right.
and they're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's more sustainable than it ever was.
Right.
It's like kind of saved their lives. Like they were at a point where it's like they were so disenfranchised, they never quote unquote made it. Like they came up in that era,
Right,
you know, where it's
where
like,
you
Well,
had to make it.
you're waiting for and here's the difference that I see in what I see with you guys and what I've seen and watching everybody else and all the time that I've been around all this stuff and watching is the hustle and you know what I mean? Like I've watched all of the bands that we all know hustle to a certain extent.
Yeah, no, you have to go
You know,
all the way. or else
it is a
that's-
constant, nonstop,
Yeah.
new music, new everything.
Right.
Like it's a constant. Put your face.
it's
talk,
a new
get out there.
uncomfortability. I'll say that.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
crazy.
Everybody had to do it before, but they had somebody going, okay, we'll set this up for you.
Yeah.
Now they have the opportunity. The opportunity is there. Anybody wants it, they can get it.
Yeah.
It is
Right.
there more so than I think than it's ever been there.
For sure.
You know, you have more of an opportunity to make it for yourself
I agree.
if you do the hustle.
I agree.
But you have to fucking grind and hustle.
Right.
You know, and that's what I've watched you guys doing this stuff. You know, you guys are still doing it. You're out there touring in it, whether it's touring and going to Europe or touring here, which we know is not going to happen for a metal band.
Well,
you
I mean,
know.
we still do it. You know, we're flying out for one gig like in a couple weeks in Houston, playing a big sold out fest. We've got touring in the
I
fall.
saw that.
Yeah, we've got touring in the fall. And you know, I mean, like it's still, you know, we're going to Mexico again this year. I mean, it's not just
See, but
Europe.
no, I know,
but-
but it's
Right.
not.
Yeah,
It's and we
But I know
all
what you
know
mean.
that
I
you
know what
don't
you
get
mean.
this stuff like
I know what you're getting
like you two, the Wrath and you guys are two of my favorite bands that I've watched in Ventura in the 30 years that I've been going to shows in Ventura. All the other stuff, like all that metal stuff that I really like, that old school
Mhm.
metal, it's hard to
yeah.
you know, when you do find a show, it's on a Tuesday night at Gigi's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but to be like, oh, cool, they're playing here and it's going to be a fun night and this is really going to happen.
Right.
You know, it's really hard to get that because in the States they're not into it like they are everywhere else.
And
you
it's
know?
kind of weird too, like the fact that we haven't played here since 2018. I see this across the board, like all over the world, like local bands a lot of times, like they're more appreciated outside of their area.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy. I mean, besides like hardcore punk, like that's more of a participation sport, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
where it's
it
like
is.
when you go to a hardcore
It's
punk
a
show, you're the star.
participation.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
like you're
totally.
the star. The band is just there to back you up. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
like
Essentially, yeah.
Right,
like
the
yeah.
soundtrack.
It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna make it in the
Activities.
zine.
Right.
Oh yeah, like
You're the one head walking with your
Yeah.
fucking exes.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Totally.
like yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm envious of that, but it's a participation sport. It's totally
Right,
different.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like we have such a great legacy here,
Right.
especially from the 80s, you know, with the big four bands and stuff. But at the same time, like
Crazy.
I feel, but I'm really close with all those guys, but it's like I feel bad for them in a way, the same way I feel bad for like our heroes like Metallica or Maiden, or it's because of what
I don't feel bad
because
for
of what
them.
I don't-
no, no,
neither
no,
one
no,
of
no,
them.
no,
I'm just thinking, fuck
No,
those
let me
guys.
explain.
They're doing
Why don't you
just
retire,
fine.
move over, and give us some fucking money?
Let me
dude?
give you some context. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me give you some context.
Yeah.
This goes in. I feel sorry for them in a way that this goes back to what you said, like about staying current and still doing it. These guys, these bands, they have to basically every time they go out and play is represent what they did when they were fucking 18.
Right. Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
like, dude, if I had to go out and play the music I wrote when I was 18, like
It'd be
you
insane.
would, you wouldn't be there.
You
Like,
want to
you
kill
wouldn't be
yourself.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, no, nobody, you wouldn't be there. You know,
Right.
it's like,
But also the music you wrote when you were 18 wasn't kill them all. You know what I mean?
No,
So
no.
it's
Yeah.
like,
no,
yeah,
but I'm just
it's
saying, like,
yeesh,
But
man,
still,
yeah.
but you gotta
eventually it gets
think.
old.
100%.
but
yeah.
you got to think, or even all the guys in, you know, in all the nardcore bands, it's not like none of these guys had the chance to really grow and be like Armand and I have been in over 40 bands, dude.
Yeah.
Like you guys know the different styles of music that we've been able to play.
Yeah.
So we've been able to fulfill all that like in our lives. Like we have no doubts
Imagine
about
one band from like when you're 18
Right.
to when
Yeah,
you're 60.
yeah.
Oh,
and,
totally.
and you're
you know?
It's
just
insane.
and
Yeah.
you're
And then
just
also
play the
everybody
Oxnard song.
just wants
you know?
to hear the first 10
Yeah.
years
the
of
first,
your career.
the first
Even though
record. Yeah.
Since then you've put out more records
Oh,
than you
yeah.
did in
Yeah.
those 10 years, but nobody wants to hear
No,
that
no
shit.
one
Yeah,
gives a
but it
fuck,
also
dude.
comes down to
Not until
those first
30
10 years.
You know what I
you
mean?
know?
Yeah. That's
Those first 10 years, those guys put out shit that was hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they got
Yeah.
houses in Malibu.
Oh
Right.
yeah, no,
And-
it's
in New York and in Montana and in Washington and
Right.
and then all of a sudden there goes that grit.
I guess
You
the
know?
good analogy, this is an investment analogy. I guess
Right.
the good analogy is like when you're like invest when you're young, you know, like
Right.
it's basically like they bought the Apple stock when they were 18.
Yeah.
And like now they
Yeah.
don't have to write good records.
Yeah. They cashed in. Plus, a lot of those bands, like, you know, when we talk about the opportunity, a lot of those bands were the band that made it. Metallica is incredible, but there's a fucking bunch of bands that are so good and could have put out the quality of material over that amount of time if they had the push and the.
Well, this
You know
band
what I mean?
did,
And
but
I
it
don't-
still didn't get.
And it still didn't get
noticed,
there
you know,
because they
like-
weren't those. They had to operate through these gatekeepers, right?
Yeah.
The gatekeepers now are fucking
They're
gone.
gone. They're gone.
And like I said,
They're
you know,
trying.
you guys have been pretty good at staying current, even in COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
like
we
for
got
me,
busier. I
yeah,
think.
you guys got busier, which is insane because for me, it really took a toll on my creativity.
Oh, well, it
You know
did
what I mean?
for
like,
me too. I'll say that.
Yeah, it
But-
really did.
Yeah,
It
we
beat
stayed
me up,
busy
dude.
like on the administrative side, I guess. Like
right.
we started a podcast that runs every week, and now we're like into 90 episodes. So like the singles that we put out, that was already planned.
Right.
But COVID happening wasn't a terrible thing for us because now we're like, oh shit, everybody's at home, they're gonna buy these things,
Yes.
right? But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Look, dude, like I hate to. This thing happened to everybody.
I
It
know.
happened to every band,
Right.
dude. So, but I know what you mean about creativity. Like I felt like right when it happened, we were like, okay, and we started
Yeah.
doing some shit. But man, the last couple of years, like I haven't, like we're doing some shit for our new record now. I'm singing songs that we wrote 2 years ago. It's like
Right.
we should it fucked with my creativity too. Isn't that
Totally.
weird? Wouldn't
Yeah,
you think
no.
it would like?
You would assume, but like me, I don't know. I don't know how you work. I only thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
Like the more shit I have going on in my life, the more like not chaos, like where my life's falling apart, but the more shit I have going on, I'm busy. I got
Yeah.
a job. I got kids. I can start to move.
Starving.
All of a sudden, the world fucking slowed down to a screeching halt, and I was left going like, I have not like.
Well, I
you know
wonder
what
if
I
it
mean?
was
Like, I have no
uncertainty,
idea.
though,
That
right?
is a part of
Because
it. Yeah.
like let's say you had a deadline, like
If
let's
I had
say
a deadline,
right,
I'd
like
work
let's say
on it.
like
Do it, yeah.
let's say
Yeah,
like
yeah.
okay, we're shut down for 3 months, like
Right.
for sure. You know, you got to
Mhm.
go back to work in 3 months. You got 3 months to rethink your life or something,
100%,
right? You
yeah.
know, or that might be different,
That-
right?
it
Yeah,
would
but
be
was just so
different, yeah.
uncertain.
Yeah,
Couldn't,
but we
you know.
lived in an uncertainty for the last fucking almost
that's
3
a
years.
creativity killer.
It is really, yeah. And it's like you guys have done a good job at doing that, you know. But I just always wonder, like, do you, as a band that's coming back out of COVID, I have a feeling that it's almost like a clean slate for everyone. Like almost everyone's starting over. Like you guys had the infrastructure to really sit down and focus on the details of what you guys have to do, get up and running, the podcast, all that shit. And it's cool you capitalize on it. But there's a really hard feeling where it's like everyone's kind of starting over again, dude. You know what I mean? And yes, we're all fighting for the same venues, we're all fighting for the same tour space, all that shit now. But a lot of those fucking bands did not make it.
No,
You know what I mean? And it's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was like almost like
I saw
light.
a lot of bands
you know?
just give up. And
Just give
even
up, dude,
even
yeah.
now, like this year, there's been a lot of bigger bands like stop.
Mhm.
But actually, we got kind of like we had to shift too. Like Dusty decided
Yeah, he's bailing.
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then I lived in Ireland for 9 months of the last 12 months, you know?
Right.
So like you know, we're managing to make it work.
I
You know,
wonder too, because it was like almost like a forced pullback.
Totally, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we're like,
yeah.
I don't know if we would have done the things that we made happen during this shit. If
No,
we
you
were
never
still
would've.
going.
Because
We would
you
always
guys got a
found
chance to rest.
some other tour.
Yeah.
We would have
Yeah.
always found some other thing, you know, and then like
Oh yeah.
all of a sudden, like, fuck, we haven't written anything, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it
And
gave
you
us a
have
lot
the
of time for
recording.
that.
You have recording that you can do, obviously, but
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, like I said, it really fucking leveled the playing field for a lot of people, I think. And I've said this a couple times, but I got to like ask myself for the first time in my life, besides when I left the Wrath, and it was a choice that I had to make. I got to ask myself for the first time in my life, why do I play music?
right.
Is it a compulsion? Is it a fucking sickness? Is it the fact that I don't have any other talents in my life? You know what I mean? Like, and it was, and the reality is because I do love it. I fucking love playing music. I love creating it. I love fucking playing live. I like recording, all that shit. I love it. And I really got to ask myself that question in a real world, because as far as I was concerned, we're never coming back from this. You know what I mean? Like, and it was really cool. And I think a lot of people ask themselves that question and realize, I've just been doing this, and now I have to do something else. You know what I mean? And for the ones that stuck around, the ones that are going to keep doing it, they're going to fucking thrive. You know?
But you started Tongue before the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of years before.
Would you
Yeah.
say that would you say that band is like somewhat like a continuation of the Wrath?
In certain ways, yeah. for
Like
sure.
it's you and
Yeah.
Nick,
It's me
and you're
Nick,
singing
yeah.
and playing guitar.
Right.
Stylistically,
It's similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. I'm never gonna not write like me.
Right.
I still write 90% of everything.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm always gonna write like me. I did have a couple things in mind. I wanted the songs to be short and fucking heavy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I had a few parameters that I created for myself
Right.
that I wanted to do. Right. I wanted the song titles to be short, the
Right.
fucking lyrical, you know what I mean?
No,
Like
that's
the
cool. See, that's
name-
what's
yeah,
cool
I've
when
always
you're
been in a
older and you
three-name
start a band.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's great when you're older and
Yeah.
you start a band. You know all the mistakes that you made before.
Right.
You know?
And it was just because I wanted to step outside of myself a little bit,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And the Wrath was its own fucking monster at some point. You know, there was a time where the Wrath had toured on the East Coast three times before we'd ever toured on the West Coast.
See, that's what
You
I'm
know what I mean?
saying.
It was
Like,
fucking
it's like,
weird.
that's
That's
what I'm
as close to
saying.
Europe as
That
you can get.
hometown
in the
shit.
States.
Well, I think it goes
Yeah.
back to I think the Midwest and the East
Yeah.
Coast has
Yeah.
a little bit more
It is.
love for
Sure.
metal than
But you know, well, you might find an East Coast band coming more to the West Coast. I mean, it's like
Right.
when
Yeah.
it's funny because if you're in a West Coast band and you don't tour, at least there are the closest you get to it is like you do regional shit where you're like, okay, like
Yeah.
we've got a week of California shows, or like we're going up to Portland or some shit, right?
Right.
yeah. There's
But like, you know, dude, you're just proving my point.
Yeah,
Like it's
100%.
like
Well,
you-
also East
people-
Coast is you can drive 6
Right,
hours and play
right.
3 different
Exactly.
entire cities
Yeah,
that
right,
are
right.
total different markets. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could do that
Where
here, but
You can
but-
drive.
Yeah.
You can drive to
You can go to
Sacramento.
Bakersfield,
Like,
you can hit Shaft,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It's
hit all,
so
hit all
massive,
the
dude.
California's
Yeah.
beautiful cities.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Go
Hey,
get
so-
fucking
Hey, Huell
So-
Hauser went to all of them, so
Hey,
that's
man.
fine.
The best.
old
So
Huell Hauser.
what got you? You know, I know that you've been doing studio work and working with a lot of people because you know we obviously hear about all the different things that you're working with
Yeah.
and what you're doing. What got you into Ireland? Why did you go to Ireland?
Oh,
and
me?
yeah, well, I
I know
don't
what
think
got
any
him
of
in there.
us else were here. I am, that's, you know,
Love.
That's right, baby.
is that what it was?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend that lives out there, so she's
Okay.
from there. And
Right.
So because you and I have obviously talked a few times,
Right.
but usually we're both kind of working through different stuff at the
Yeah.
same time. So we have talked about getting together. So I never
Yeah.
really, I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I'd like to just take off and go to Ireland
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
man. You know,
Yeah,
so I didn't know if you just,
Well, what
you know,
happened was I went out there in late 2020 for a few weeks,
Mhm.
and I was out there hanging out, and then the day before I was coming back, I get a call from Dusty and it says, "I'm going to Pennsylvania, and I don't know when I'm coming back." And I was like, "Okay, do it, cool,"
Sweet.
you know. And then I came home, and then we talked a little more, and he's like, "This is my happy place, bro." I'm like, and he's like, and he's like, I want to stay here. And I go, dude, I said, that's fine. You know, he was going through a breakup. And so he had a lot going on in his mind, you know, and he's kind of like, this pandemic's happening. He's like, we're not jamming. We're not touring. He's like, why do I need to be in the most expensive place in the world? I don't have anywhere to go. And so I was like, look, you could be wherever you want as long as you stay in this band. I'm like, don't make that mistake.
Right.
You know, because we all get emotional about things, and you know, you want to change your life. It's kind of fun to like quit your job. Right. But I'm just like, look, like the band thing is the only thing that like is actually going to actually be there for us at the end of this thing. Right. You know, that I've seen the patterns. Like if you keep going, let's say there's so many bands that quit right before. Like it's really, you know, so anyway, so I ended up just going out again like a couple weeks later. Since he moved back, I talked to Armand. He's like, yeah, well, I mean, like this shit's going to be extended. Our tour is being canceled. So I went out to Ireland again for a couple weeks over New Year's, right? So this was into 2021. I was going to come home January 8th. And on the 6th, I was watching on the BBC News this insurrection thing, right? It wasn't really that's not really what an insurrection is.
It was a pop-up selfie.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
yeah. You want to see an insurrection? Look at like there's some other countries that are doing it. Yeah.
What's going on?
But what I'm saying is like I saw that and I was like, there ain't no reason to come up. Like I'm like this shit ain't going this shit's gonna get pushed, you know. So I ended up just staying for like 6 months, like the longest that I could on my visa. I came back in June, then we hooked up again. And then Dusty came out a couple times and we just wrote the rest of the record. But what we found is that we're more productive when we have like this time, right? It's like, hey, I'm here for a month. We're playing every day. If he indefinitely lives here, well, we get together like once a week, just like whatever band.
Fuck off.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
well, it goes back to that deadline thing. That
deadline thing, man.
Yeah,
it
you got
fucking helps.
A finite amount of time to get shit done. It gets you in gear, man. It's,
It's
beautiful for creatives.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's and that's the short of it. I guess that's what brought me there. But yeah, I've got like some pretty good roots there now, and like. We're doing the Frost and Fire Fest there now. We're doing it in June. It's called Frost and Fireland.
Nice.
But yeah,
June what?
But it's June 17th and 18th.
June 17th and 18th. Where?
In Derry, Northern Ireland. So it's right, and it's a beautiful place, man.
Waiting for you, man.
Hey, I seriously am.
Come on out.
Thinking about this.
Come on out. We'll set you up.
We'll set you up. Because I mean, I've told you this, and Frost and Fire was my favorite shit. I looked forward to it. I loved seeing the people there. I loved seeing the bands play. I loved the intimacy of being able to I could go watch crazy people as far as like the technical drummers and guitar players and bass players and just be able to sit there so close and watch insane musicians rip. And then you watch that and you're like, holy shit, it's craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe that this place isn't packed to the fucking walls.
Well, I mean,
and then
we did pretty well.
Oh, you did great. But there should have been a line down to Main Street with people wanting to get in there to see that stuff.
I think what was the number? Like 92% of our ticket sales every year come from outside of the state.
Right.
And like
it was great.
Right.
But I didn't know anybody. You would hear accents from everywhere. The people.
We're gonna bring it back. I think we stopped at the right time. It's funny that like we did it right. We stopped. Our next thing would have been during COVID. Everybody told me you're crazy to stop the fest. I'm like, no, like we're just not inspired to do it. Like we've kind of done all we could with it.
Right.
And then all the other promoters that said I was crazy, like lost their ass because their shows didn't happen.
Exactly.
But no, we're gonna bring it. Yeah, sure. We're gonna bring it back. And
will you get me one?
No.
I've got.
Thank you.
There's this idea that I've been kicking around since 2015.
Okay.
And I actually think that I'm going to try and do it here now because I won't say too much, but there's some more venues around now,
Yeah.
But it's the idea is the festival. Okay. So the festival is called Bangers and Mosh. And what it is,
You really are all in
Yeah.
Ireland, dude.
yeah. But no, this was in 2015. I
yeah,
guess,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
But I want to do Frost and it's called Bangers and Mosh. But what it essentially is Frost and Fire meets Nardfest. So it's
There
like
you go.
you have a hardcore punk band and a fucking metal band, and
yeah.
it's like we revolve like that.
Hell yeah, dude.
And so that's like the one thing, because you think about like back in the day, like how it took so long for like those two communities to actually come together.
Oh, totally, dude.
Now
Yeah.
it's fucking easy, and it's
It's easy,
awesome.
yeah.
Everybody that likes punk likes metal and vice versa.
Right.
Well, it's accepted, and
Yeah.
it's
still a
yeah.
thing, but to like
It-
force them to do it together is
right.
good
Like
because
I think that even if like I think that like a kid going to see his favorite thrash band on this bill would go see Stalag 13 and go, this is awesome.
Oh,
right?
100%. Yeah.
And a kid going to see Dr. No would go see a classic metal band and at least like have a good laugh,
Totally.
like a good novelty laugh,
Right. And also the kids
and
are
just go, wow, these guys are talented or something.
the fucking genres are dead. Kids do not give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
They're so hungry. They're so excited for music. They don't fucking care, dude. Bring
Well,
it
you got
back.
kids. Do they?
Not at all. They don't give a
They don't-
fuck about genres, dude. I made my whole identity.
But do they
off of
like?
it.
Do they like live music or?
Yeah. I mean, they're at the age now where they're starting to get into it. They came to see us for the first time ever. And I look down and my two kids are in
Right.
the pit.
Yeah.
And I've shed like a white trash fucking heavy metal
Yeah.
tear.
Right.
And then I threatened the crowd. I was
No,
like, I'm going to
I've
kill you guys
been
if you hurt
noticing
my
it
kids. You know,
lately,
it's-
too.
yeah.
That was great.
You know,
that
was-
show, like,
yeah.
there's kind of these new all ages kind of things happening now, which is awesome.
It's amazing.
And
dude.
actually, you're seeing fucking the kids.
Yeah.
come
You're seeing the
out,
kids
like,
are coming out. They're
like,
hungry. And I
and
think
they're-
COVID really, these kids are so hungry for any fucking
just
thing,
kind
dude.
of social
Any
interaction.
social
right?
interaction. They don't give a fuck what it is.
I'm
They
just
wanna be
wondering
there, you
about
know?
like actual like live, like it's funny how much I like feel like I took for granted like just like rock music, because
Right.
like you couldn't anywhere in the 90s. I would go Starbucks, Target, whatever. I'd be like, this fucking Wallflowers got
Yeah.
But now I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
dude, if I hear fucking Lisa Loeb like in the bonds, I'm like,
Yes.
fucking,
Yeah.
there's a guitar in that song,
Yeah, totally, yeah.
because it's like
Yeah.
I go out for a nice meal and it's all,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck, like at a fancy
It's
restaurant,
crazy, dude. Yeah.
So like,
No, kids are they're starving for anything. Like I've said this many times on my podcast. My daughter will listen to literally like fucking Hole. She's super
That's
into
great.
all the 90s shit is coming back. So
Yeah,
super,
it
so
is.
Hole,
oh, you gotta
like,
see in
all
Ireland,
this
the
shit,
whole dude, like the
it's
fashion.
insane.
It's like,
yeah, 90s is coming
No,
back
that's here
hard.
too.
But she's
Uh,
all
ripped
into like
jeans
any sort of girl
all that.
rock, Bikini Kill, fucking Le Tigre, Hole,
Fuck yeah.
all this
That's
shit.
awesome.
And then she'll listen to like Surfboard, which is like a weird,
Yeah.
crazy new band. And then she'll come at me with like a 311 song. And I'm like, you're not allowed to do that. You know, like I had to
You're
tell her,
like,
like,
you're,
here, I was like,
you're like,
I was like,
you're like, zum, go to bed.
yeah, and I'm over here like an asshole going like, you're not allowed to do that. Like you can't like that song and
Yeah,
this song.
yeah.
And she's looking at
'Cause
me
we
like,
couldn't. That was
what are you?
cool.
Are you
We
an
couldn't do
asshole?
that.
And I'm like, I guess
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, dude. Because you were like the
Yeah.
lines did not cross. I
Yeah,
built
no.
my whole identity off a genre of music, and that the kids don't fucking care.
No,
They're
that's
stoked
good to
be
hear,
out,
though, man. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. But
And,
yeah,
and
that's
you
my.
see what's happening with like Dead Heat.
Yep.
All these insane fucking bands. These kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. 400 or 500 kids showing up to shows.
Because it's a participation sport.
It is a
Yeah.
participation sport.
But
yeah.
also
Touche.
Dead
Yeah.
Heat's touring with bands that brought out Night Demon, like Crowbar, Municipal
Right.
Waste,
Yeah.
and so like, there's that crossover exists. And so
Totally.
that's what I want to do. I want to bring the fucking Frostfire meets Nardfest, the bank called Bangers and Mosh, and do it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll like,
Absolutely.
because I want to get the local community more involved. Like with Nardfest, I was able to do that. It was an easy
Right.
sell.
It's
you
an
know?
easy sell. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea. So
100%.
we'll
dude.
see.
Well, and we all know that when Jarvis fucking sets his fucking teeth into an idea, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen, yeah. What's up with what's up with your guys' schedule coming up? I know you guys are playing some fests. You said you're going to Europe in a few times. Are you taking a break from the recording in between, or have you been
It's the
busy
only time I
recording?
get to like relax is to
Right.
go on tour.
Right. Yeah, 'cause
You know?
you've been busy recording
It's
the
been
whole
insane,
time.
man.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and like and now like getting back to doing our thing too. And like,
Mhm.
look, I love doing it all, but I still like my main thing is to play music in a band and be on stage.
Right.
Guys, give me a fucking chance to do that,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
I love you all. I want to make
Yeah.
all your records.
Yeah.
But
100%.
you know, I gotta go and do my thing.
Mhm.
But it's good because it's like like with the pandemic, I think it's a reset, you know, for me. Like I get out of that fucking cave
Right.
for a couple of months and get out and get to see people and new bands and new sounds and get back
Right.
into what I started doing, you know, the whole
Right.
reason I did that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's exciting and it's good. And I need that every once in a while. That was the thing with this 2 years straight of not being able to do that. And
Right.
the studio's been great. Believe me, it's saved my ass, like, or my, you know, mental
Right.
having to be able
Right.
to get together with some people. You know, it was a little slow at first, but you know, definitely like as soon as people were like kind of like, is it
Can we
okay?
come
Is it
out?
okay?
Like, yeah.
I'm like, fucking let's go, dude.
Let's
I
do
got
it, you
plenty
know?
of room if you want to stand over there.
Right. You wanna-
Yeah.
You want to
You-
stick a
right.
mask
Go
in
ahead,
your
you know.
butthole while you're fucking
I love
there?
the
Yeah.
We
picture
did,
of everybody
I
standing around
forget-
wearing masks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you guys
I
wore
did a
that through the whole
session-
recording, right?
Dude, no, I did a gang vocal session for In Control,
Uh-huh.
right? Like those guys, you know, Zach's in San Diego, whatever. He's like, hey man, listen, like we need to get these done. Can you rattle up some people? I know it's weird times. I'm like, I got it, dude.
Yeah, we're good.
So everybody around the mic had their own pop screen. Like I set this whole thing up, dude. I fucking distanced everybody.
Yeah, I remember.
And like
Yeah.
we did it.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
It
we
was
did it.
awesome.
Yeah.
People like fucking, they were like, oh, we
Yeah.
haven't done anything. And like Armand, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
I
you
bet
know?
those gang vocals turned out sick.
They were
dude.
killer,
Yeah,
dude,
everyone
yeah.
was screaming their hearts
And then we
out,
all
dude.
went out to eat unmasked
Yeah,
at the same
right.
table.
Yeah.
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 But when we got up to take a piss, we put them back on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because COVID doesn't
Yeah.
last on wood tables. That's what, you know.
So
Yeah, it's insane, dude. Are you guys? So you guys are going to Europe? The restrictions coming up? I mean, is that
It's been
do you guys-
dropping,
you know,
man.
seems
yeah.
like it's just like going
It's over.
away.
But
I
like
mean, it's
the
the one thing we
dude,
can
the
thank
places.
Putin for, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Once the
Putin
war happened,
really
oh
killed
my
COVID,
god,
dude.
dude, it's like it was seriously like
Yeah.
that was the shift, you know.
totally.
But
They're
I
like,
think
"Fuck
part of
COVID,
it, though, I
Putin."
think
one cool
think-
thing,
Yeah.
one cool thing is I'm finding like in the Western European countries that had a lot of like social political outcry from the citizens, like places where people were rioting against this stuff, like
Right.
seriously rioting,
Right.
not like out here like with the Trump flag and honking the horns, like
Right.
in like Amsterdam where people are like throwing firebombs at the cops, like
Right.
those places have completely dropped all
Oh,
restrictions.
bet
Like,
they have,
but dude,
yeah.
it's crazy. Like that shit actually works, man.
Uh-huh.
You think it doesn't, because out here stuff like this happens and you kind of see the government kind of like, all right, let's let it play out
Mhm.
and then let's fucking slam them.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
everybody wants to feel safe after that. Like, let's fucking
Mhm.
put them all in jail. Let's make a new law,
Right.
right? That everybody will vote for. But out there, they're kind of like, all right, well, people are really upset. Like,
Yeah.
there's probably a reason they're upset. So let's listen to them.
Well,
It's
and
like
it-
fucking
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know.
Do you think it's a time and history thing? Because we're
I
such a
mean,
young
we're all
country.
living,
Yeah.
No, but we're such a young country, right? Like they're used to being able to figure out how to control us and this and that. But when you go to a place, it's Middle Eastern Europe, wherever the fuck, these guys got thousands of years of revolting.
And also having
There's, you know what I mean? Like,
gnarly war and regime that was only
Right.
60, 70 years ago, which
Right,
we've never
exactly.
fucking
We've
seen.
never
here.
seen it.
But
We're
listen,
still a little
so
bit of that.
different.
Like, hey,
I mean,
Yeah.
we just across the board, we don't have like when you talk about the Netherlands and all that stuff, they're still very communal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like, it's not like they're this giant space where, and if you get into Russia and everything,
yeah.
it's giant,
Right.
but everybody's still right
Mhm.
in one little area so
Yeah.
that everybody can communicate.
right.
With us, I mean, you go from here to
Fucking Bakersfield.
Arizona.
It's crazy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you really get into
Different
California,
country.
California is
right,
nuts.
right.
You can run right
Yeah.
up the middle of California,
Yeah.
one side of the mountains to the other side of
Mhm.
the mountains, and it's completely
Right.
different. So I think a lot of it has to do with we don't get the communication,
Maybe.
because and I think that if we
I think
all
that's
got
changing,
together and
Yeah.
talked,
Yeah.
But I
then
think
we'd
that's
all realize
changing.
we're on the same
Yeah.
boat. I agree.
I think that's
but-
changing because people don't go out anymore. So we all communicate online. So we're
Mhm.
kind of all becoming one people, right?
Mhm.
Like in a
Yeah.
way, right? In a way
Essentially.
where
yeah.
like before it'd be like you knew what the guy that owned the Trans Am that hung out at the Dairy Queen said was cool. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like if he
got
had
any weed,
yeah.
it'd be cooler if
Yeah,
you did.
yeah. If he had the poison chains, they were cool,
Yeah, they're
right?
sick. Yeah.
You didn't have you didn't have 1,000 friends on Facebook to tell you that wasn't cool, right?
right.
So, but I think history just keeps repeating itself, to be honest. I mean, I think the whole fascism thing kind of skipped a generation and now it's kind of back in a way, like
in a big
especially
way.
when I see all the stuff like, you know, we're the biggest in Germany, you know, but I do a lot of interviews there and their whole thing is like with this whole COVID thing, like, dude, they are just following in line like it's like 1939 all over, dude.
They're
like
going
Oh,
for
yeah.
it.
well, they're just listening to their government on everything they say, and
Wow.
it's like you don't.
And you'd think that'd be the one place that's like,
Yeah,
hold on,
maybe
wait a minute.
not.
Yeah,
But when you disguise
you
it as a
know.
health thing,
Yeah,
it's
right.
different.
Well, yeah,
Right.
You know?
yeah.
People would rather be safe than be free,
This is true.
and
yeah.
when you know real freedom, you realize that that's not a good trade-off, you know.
Right.
And so you got to speak up for these things now because you can't do it later. And the problem is, like, when you give all these rights away, you're not. People think that the government just gives them back.
No,
like
they don't.
when this is
It
over,
ain't
it
happening.
doesn't happen, right?
Look at the Patriot Act. Look
Yeah.
at fucking every other thing they've
Dude,
ever like. They're
Oh, it only
never
gets
going to give their
added
freedoms
to.
back. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I
Same thing
think
with
when
the-
all of this started, though, that nobody knew what was happening and
Right.
that they expected all of this, I've had some serious loss through this shit.
Sure.
And
Right.
so in the beginning of it, I remember being like, all right, babe, this is it. This is what we're doing. And, I was worried about her. She was worried about me. And everybody, like, I'm worried about my mother-in-law. I'm worried about my mom. I
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
my mom to COVID. Like, so like all of us are just going like, all right,
Yeah.
let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
Right.
But at a certain point in time, when it goes from this variant to this variant, and everybody all of a sudden is like, yeah, I have COVID. Oh, yep, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, okay, then it's
Right.
time to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
let's
you know,
ever
it
fucking
is
calm
driving
down.
me nuts to watch kids drive around in the car with masks on.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
You know, but that's where, like in the beginning,
I get
but it
Yeah.
goes
Sure.
back
6
to
months,
it
first
goes
year.
back
No,
to
yeah, I'm
the-
not down.
You don't
let's-
know.
No, but
you
it
know.
goes back to the okay. Well, now you guys.
I'm
stop.
not downplaying it. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is that, like, give yourself a little more credit for being a smart individual who is allowed to make his own choices for him and his family,
Right.
versus like trusting the government or listen or watching the media to get that. I mean, you got to understand these people, they don't care about us. Like, they have other interests.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's not a conspiracy. Like, and by the time it catches up and we find out about shit, those people are already gone, man. Like,
Totally.
you got to think about
Already
it.
there's
made
no
their
like, what
money
if
liability.
you
and bought their islands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I had
Yeah,
a
and
job
no
like that,
liability.
I might be
None.
the same way. You know, I might
Yeah.
be like, well,
Fuck it,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the greatest it's the greatest profit any company has ever experienced in their life. Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson and Johnson, who are also at the same time the greatest violators of fucking human rights
yeah.
and destruction at the same time.
with zero liability.
That was
Yeah,
zero,
zero
fucking
liability.
liability.
Yeah.
Now,
Zero.
I'm not talking about the
Yeah.
pandemic. I'm talking about the opioid crisis.
yeah.
Every fucking one of these companies that we're all saluting now for saving our lives is the
Sued-
same.
They've been sued for
company
billions of
for
dollars.
they hold
you should be able to
records for
question it.
criminal
You should
fucking
at least
money,
be able
you know?
to question. it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
And
and,
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
somebody else besides the FDA.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yeah.
somebody that's
Yeah.
not
It was in their
also
back pocket,
controlled.
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
where
know,
the
where
where
it's
the
all
five
just so
where the
nuts,
where the
man.
where the 5 food groups are still fucking milk and bread.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah,
like
totally.
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
not only that, like I was listening to some shit the other day. Pfizer filed for a 75-year stop
yes,
to their fucking
to their information.
to their
yes.
information, the information they had come
Yeah.
to about like COVID and the
Yeah.
vaccines. 75
They
years.
have like
We're talking about-
80,000 pages of documents,
Yeah.
and they're
No,
like,
400,000
or is that what it is?
pages.
Yeah, okay.
400,000
Yeah.
pages.
and
And they want to block it for 75 years. That's longer than fucking the JFK assassination.
But I do
Right.
think the court ruled like, and they said no, you have 8 days or something.
Right.
I
Well,
think
we'll see
they're-
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But
exactly. We'll see what
75
happens.
fucking years, dude. Like, and we all took the jab, most of us,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not getting the boosters. I'm not getting any of that
No,
shit.
it's- yeah.
And it's not because I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I start to see the science and I go,
Yeah.
okay, I got it twice.
Hmm.
Was fine. I'm fat. I got all the markers that could kill you. You know what I mean? Like, and I fucking skated through it.
Survived
I
it,
wasn't
yeah.
even sure I had it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Did,
Like,
Armin, did you ever get hit with it?
I
or-
got whatever mild form of it in the beginning of this year.
Right.
You know,
You?
Right.
after both vaccines and all that shit.
Well, I don't know. I
Nice.
was in the hospital for a week before Portia went in. Actually, funny, like 2 days before she did. And I don't know. Like,
So
it
yeah,
was
that's a
right.
yes.
It was right when it happened.
Yeah,
They
that's
said I
a
had
yes.
a lung infection.
That's
They
a yes.
tested me a bunch, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's I think personally, because there's a bunch of people that I know that went through the same shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that
Right.
that's, I think for me myself, I think that I have the same cockroach gene this fucking
Right.
across the table
Right.
from me
Trash
has,
fucking
where
genes,
because
dude.
I
It's the
know,
beards.
like
Yeah,
I've
that's what
had
it is.
every
The
shot
story-
and I've had the booster. If they come out with another one, I'll do it again.
Right.
I don't care. I put enough shit in my body. A booster's not going to make a difference.
I mean,
Sure.
well,
But
it could.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but so could whatever else you and I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Touche.
But
Yeah.
Well, I tested
just,
negative,
Like
so-
I can't believe, like, I don't know how I've, because
Right.
I kind of half-ass followed most of the rules some of the time.
Yeah, but
I
I think you gotta like, you got like, what are you gonna do, man? Like,
no, I
see that now we know though, right? If
Right.
this happens again,
We know.
like you know, like with everything that everybody tried to do, like it didn't help anything.
right.
All it did was hurt things.
I think it's more
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
right,
anything,
like
right?
like any restrictions, it did
Right.
more damage than good.
Right.
So if this happens again, I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
I think it's gonna be a lot more
I think
questions
it's like
about
about
it. If that-
personal.
yeah.
we'll see.
Right.
I mean, it's still like,
But dude, there's people-
there's so many people that are
Yeah, but the people that a
still
lot of people got sick and
driving
died
around.
that like they never left their house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
the whole.
That's
the-
what- so
the-
what I'm
the
saying is-
70 to, like my mom.
Yeah.
You know, my mom was almost 80, and you know, she did not. You know, she had a liver transplant,
But how do you think
and then
she
she had a
got
liver.
it?
She got it because she didn't give a shit.
But like, did she go somewhere and get it?
Oh,
or- Okay.
she would take, like, she didn't, she's like, I'm not, this is not going to stop me. I'm going to keep spending time with my granddaughters and doing the stuff that I'm doing. Like,
Right.
me and my brother were downtown walking around, and she drove by and was like, hey boys, come give me a hug. And we're like,
I almost wondered
what
though, do you
in
think-
the fuck
Yeah.
are you doing?
But do you think you could have saved her life from by just locking her down?
Yeah,
Really?
I think we'd got more out of
Really?
her for sure. Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's hard to. It's hard to say. man.
100%.
I mean, it's hard to
Because
say.
She didn't.
I mean, you don't.
She
know, though,
literally
right?
didn't change.
Yeah.
She
Right.
just
Right.
kept doing her. And I understand
But
her
there's something I
perspective. It's like,
respect
I'm-
about that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
and you know
That's
what?
my mom.
100%.
It's like
you know,
to actually live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she could have maybe lived more.
No, I
like,
get you. I get you.
You know what I
I get
mean?
you.
Like
Yeah.
she definitely.
But I
could.
feel more so
Definitely.
like bad, like with the like kids, right? Like for kids to go through something like this and then like lose 2 years of like some kind of, sometimes 2 years when your kid is like the most crucial
It's
point in your
insane.
life.
Yeah. It
And
had a
then,
massive effect on
and
my
then go
daughter.
through the rest of
Yeah.
your life being
Yeah.
afraid,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
my
my
daughter
learning
did
disabilities
most-
because you can't see
yeah.
somebody learn. Like, you can't learn to talk because you learn to talk by doing this.
Right.
So
Right.
you don't learn how to talk when you're 2 years old because you can't see anybody's
Right.
face that's
Right.
talking to
Yeah,
you.
like
Right.
you
I-
don't
My
get that.
daughter,
You know,
being a
there's a
middle
lot.
schooler, she missed half of fucking middle school,
that's
which
exactly
we
that point.
all
that
know is the
era.
most important
Yeah,
fucking
right.
shit for like development and social skills
I
and
missed
shit
half
like
the
that.
middle school.
Yeah, but you were a fucking
Yeah,
you
but
know,
hey,
you're-
bullying
Look at you
bullying
now.
was
Yeah.
cool. Bullying was cool when you were
Bullying was
yeah.
great.
Yeah, when
Shit,
you were
that
in middle
made
school.
all
yeah,
of us
totally.
characters.
Yeah, that was promoted.
Bullying
dude.
was
Yeah.
gnarly when I went to middle school,
Yeah,
man.
But yeah, I know that
Went to
uh,
Haydock in middle school. That
there you
shit
go.
was fucking nuts.
Haydock,
It was the
Jesus.
craziest shit ever,
Yeah.
man. Fights
Yeah.
in the fucking school. Like, here's the school, and then in the yard across from the school, there was fights every
day.
fucking day.
every day.
Every
yeah.
fucking day, they
Yeah.
were out there fucking boxing. Man.
That's how it goes, dude.
Yeah,
That's
it
fucking
was
middle
so
school.
Crazy,
But you don't when you don't experience that shit, you don't fucking see like
yeah,
how people react. And middle school is like such a wild time for everyone. I would assume you figure out how to push your boundaries and fucking get checked. And I mean, I never got more middle fights or fights in middle school than anywhere else. I
anywhere
got
by
more-
far.
I got in fucking a billion fist fights in middle school
Yeah.
because it's everyone's testing
Right.
and fucking
And
pushing, and
nobody
you have
gets
to figure it
hurt.
out.
You
You
learn
know what
how
I
to
mean?
deal
Like,
with stuff.
and my daughter didn't get a chance to do it. Not that she's going to fight, but you know, it's like they missed out on such a massive amount of fucking growth in this time, you know, and
Psychosis.
the lockdowns, I agree with you, like were more detrimental than anything, you know, because look at Florida. They didn't lock shit down at all. You know what I mean? I never thought in a million years
didn't do
I
that.
would agree with Florida. You know what I mean? Like it's wild. You know?
In just to be the caveat to all that though is it could have been, look at Florida, everybody's dead now. And then the beginning, but hold on, that's not what I'm saying. This the caveat to it is in the beginning when all of this was popping off, was they were really tripping on how many people are we going to lose?
Right.
We're potentially looking at this.
Right.
You know, and it's just after that is where you start going like 6 months to a year after that when they're still like saying, okay, we all know that masks are bullshit unless you're using a specific one.
Right.
You're clean shaven. You know, like if you're doing all these, then that's going to work. But none of those people, nobody's doing that. There's a few people you see doing it, and it still blows my mind. I was riding my bicycle down the promenade in Ventura, and I see these two people standing there looking at they're standing like 4 or 5 feet away from each other, looking at the ocean, wearing an N95 like stuck to their face.
For you,
and
man.
I'm like, what is like, come on, man.
It's wild, dude.
Come on.
Well, if anything, those are like, it's like the mark, you know what I mean? Those are the people I don't want to associate with. So I'll just stay away.
And we
Nice
do know
guys
people
wear
like
it.
that though that are, you know, we still, you know, and I just don't care.
I don't know.
If you want to do it, that's fine.
If
but
it makes
don't,
you
know,
feel better, fucking
Yes,
do it,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But
See,
don't
and
make
that's-
me do it.
And that is the thing. That's the
myself.
point, right? That's the point. Like everybody should be able to do whatever the fuck they want,
Right.
You know,
without the persecution,
dude. The amount of pussery I've seen in the punk and
Webster's
metal
dictionary.
scene, in the punk and metal scene over this whole thing, this whole time, I'm just like the fucking. It went from like, you know, fuck the man to like do what the man says, and I'm gonna tell you to do it, right? And that's the thing where I'm just like, look, I'll step out, and I'm not gonna tell you not to do it, but don't fucking, you know, like
it's crazy.
It's just like, come on, man. So, you know, the thing is this is why how I know the government, the powers and the media, the government win is because their job is just to divide the people so that they don't have to fucking be looked at as bad guys.
No.
So now it's like you got family and friends that they'll fight each other for you, and now your job is easier. Divide and conquer, right? That's what that means.
Oh, they got
right?
it covered.
Nation divided is easier to control.
No,
You know what I mean?
the whole
That's
thing, and that's
100%,
what it's
dude.
always been, and that's what they'll always push, and they'll find different forms.
Why did this turn into a fucking?
no idea.
God, this could have been.
All right, let's talk about the music.
I did want to ask.
I am
You guys
thoroughly
have toured
enjoying it though.
extensively in Europe. Obviously, all this Ukraine, Russian shit. Have you guys had any chance to play in Ukraine or any in that area?
No, well, we've done a lot of Eastern Bloc countries.
Okay.
Did we hit Ukraine? I think we did once, didn't we? Maybe. No, well, we got close. Czech Republic, Poland.
We had some
Poland's right there.
We had some potential gigs in July in Moscow that are now canceled.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
see, here's the thing. But here's the thing.
Better cancel
Here's the
those
thing.
Cancel.
I just got word last week that they're like definitely not happening. But here's the thing. We would go.
Here's the shitty thing.
We would go. We would go
the
right now.
people, man.
It's not the people.
I know it's
that
not
want
the
to
people,
fucking
man.
rock.
And I don't
I
care.
know it's not the people. Yeah.
I don't care
You know?
what this like.
I would love to be you guys on stage playing a giant Russian
dude,
show.
do you know?
Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, man.
Outside of all the bullshit, if anybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about, go fuck yourselves.
Moscow
But to
Peace
watch,
Festival,
like
you know?
to be up on stage and to stand back there and watch that energy, it would be
Well,
out
come to
fucking
Ireland.
I mean, look,
Hey,
You know?
man, June, right? We're talking
No,
June,
man,
right?
I want to.
But no, look, if Night Demon came to Moscow this July, it would be the best gig of all time.
It would
be
Like,
the best
it would be
press
insane.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
could ever
It would be
do.
insane.
Yeah.
You know, I stand with the people of. Fucking heads are blown off.
Well, no, but here's the thing.
It did get canceled. We're all talking.
We recently got asked to do this thing for this festival in Germany that we're headlining in June, and they said, "Hey, there's a big German radio station. They're fucking huge, and they want you to do this. I stand with Ukraine bit." And I was like, honestly, like I don't fucking know anything about it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Or at least I don't know enough. And like, I'm like, honestly, we stand with like the people of both countries that are fucking
Right.
totally innocent.
Right.
I don't care about this fucking guy on the TV who's a president who's got a machine gun. Like, cool. He's involved in some shit that I don't know about. Okay.
Right.
He's a fucking leader of a country. Okay.
Right.
He's involved with whatever, dude. There's a reason this is happening. Okay.
Right.
And it's the reason it's happening to this guy. Okay.
Mhm.
He may be cool. Yes. And he may be awesome. Joe Biden's not going to get in the trenches. I get that.
Fuck no.
But,
And
but
and
he
what
couldn't even
what
get
what
in
is
there.
he
He
have,
couldn't even-
what effect has him not doing or what has his cabinet and the people around him that control him, what has been their play over all of these years in Ukraine, in Russia, in their knowledge of what's
Well,
going
there's
on,
obviously shit
in
that
their
we'll never
laughing.
know,
right.
you know,
Oh,
and
dude,
it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
it's
but like
nuts.
war, people make money on war, and it's not us. Okay,
No,
so
definitely
so
not.
I'm not
No.
gonna like. I see all this shit as another Black Lives Matter thing, where I'm like, you could say it all you want, but you're not really helping the cause
Mm.
when you really look deep into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's where it's like it's a political pawn. It's not.
Yeah.
You're not really helping Black people by just saying this.
Right.
You're not doing shit for them.
Right.
You know?
What do you do outside of the norm?
By just
that
saying
is,
I
like,
stand
yeah.
with the Ukraine on the radio? Fuck that. Like,
Right.
I want people in Russia to know, like, dude, I feel sorry for the millions of motherfuckers that have no choice in this.
Well, and they're
right?
going through sanctions. They're starting
Dude,
to
it's
starve.
fucked.
It's fucking. It's brutal.
So the guy argues with me, the German guy argues with me and says, what? Because they don't have McDonald's? And I was like,
Oh wow, that was his
yeah,
argument.
yeah. And I said, dude, you got to understand, like, I don't feel right. I'm saying I don't know enough. I'm not saying it's wrong to stand with Ukraine at all. I'm
Right.
saying it's not my world, dude. You hired me to play guitar,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you
I'm
go,
not a
political-
political.
like, you go
Yeah.
say it, right? But
Right.
anyway, besides all that, yes, we have some gigs coming up in Poland in the summer and in
Mhm.
Hungary, Lithuania, Slovakia.
Right.
We're like bordering
Right
all
there.
that, like,
Right.
we'll be able to hear bombs.
Right. You'll
But,
be
like,
at ground zero.
yeah.
for
That's
World
why
War
you're
III.
starting it off
We'll
in
be dropping
Oxnard.
our own
What is your
bombs.
experience with the people in those countries? Because I always think that we talked to a buddy, massive history buff, talking about Ukraine. Ukraine was like the only fucking people that would not deal with the Mongols. They're sad. They've been savages for fucking ever, dude. You know what I mean? Like, have you had experience? Is there a massive difference in the people that you deal with over there?
I think a lot of the Eastern Bloc, yeah, like the people are harder in a way. Like
They're
they-
definitely-
they've been fucking
Yeah.
stepped on and shit on for so long
Right.
and been taken over and
Yeah.
fucking thrown
I mean,
around.
and I'll tell
I
you,
mean,
yeah.
and dealt with the real famines and
Right. Real shit.
if you've
Different
ever
actual history.
if
Yeah.
you've ever
Yeah.
visited a post-communist country,
Yeah.
it's fucking brutal. Like, even when you go to East Germany, it's like, fuck.
even
like,
30 years later,
you
40 years
can
later,
you can
Yeah.
you sense it.
still there.
Like, it's
You feel it.
there's a fucking timidness, and dude, look, in the metal scene and punk scene, there's some excitement, which is cool.
Right.
They're a little more amped.
Right.
They're all first world now, but like, here's the thing. Here's a
They're
problem with
still savages.
here's a problem with communism. All right,
Right.
it's a great idea on paper.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but think
Yeah.
about this. You ever rented a car, right?
Yeah.
You rented a car,
yeah.
and you just fucking like, you're fucking diming this thing on the highway. You go off the fucking curb. I don't give a fuck. It's a fucking rental, right?
Mhm.
That's what it's like living in a communist country. You don't own anything, so you don't really care about anything. And when that shit ends and you have to own that thing, you're
Mhm.
like, holy fucking shit.
Now
I
what?
can't believe
Yeah.
all these people abused
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I was taken care of, right? But like, that's the great thing about freedom and capitalism. I mean, it's great in a way. It's like we have no ceiling of what we can become. You know,
Right.
every time I say freedom these days, I feel like somebody's like, he's a white supremacist, you know, somehow
See,
the,
but that's such
freedom,
bullshit.
somehow,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
somehow
It's
the
such
word
bullshit.
freedom,
Yeah.
somehow
The fact that the
turn on
American
such a
flag,
bad-
freedom.
You have to yell, "Let's go, Brandon!"
Yeah.
after
yeah,
that.
the whole fact that the American flag's been completely taken.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
like
good.
it's
Yeah,
just
fuck,
fucking
dude.
annoying, man.
But it's like,
you know,
freedom, like,
Freedom,
like,
let's go, Brandon. dude.
you can't say freedom anywhere without
Yeah.
a southern drawl or shouting it.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
First of all, have you guys seen Kid Rock's new fucking video?
Yeah,
How insane is
Great,
that
dude.
shit?
Let's go, bro.
Have you seen it yet, Jay?
No.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
fucking bananas, dude. It's it's
I think we
full
talked about
fucking
this.
Ted Nugent, dude.
I
It
haven't
is
seen
incredible.
that,
man.
but
But he raps in it too. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
weird. He's still
Yeah,
keeping
well,
that one
you know.
foot in the door, dude. He's like he's still like he's still half Skinnered and half rap. You know, like,
like it literally, and he stands like that too, like he's
Yeah,
being
yeah.
pulled in two different directions, like the whole time, like I'm a rap, I'm hip, yeah, a Confederate flag. Wait a minute, hip hop, Kodak Black. You know what I mean? It's fucking brutal, dude.
Detroit was all about the Confederacy.
Really?
Detroit.
Yeah. That's
The
where- that's
automotive
that's
industry
that's
was
where
built
Kid
on that?
Rock was from.
Really?
bro.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah,
he
okay.
Are
all
they the
this shit.
South though? That's not even the fucking
No,
South.
no,
bro.
no, close,
It's the
bro.
furthest
No,
point of view in the South.
that's like
If you've been
Canada,
to
dude.
Detroit.
It's
Yeah.
like Canada.
Yeah.
It's
Man,
southern
I'll give you
Canada.
guys a minute to get the
Maybe southern
sarcasm in
Canada.
my
Yeah.
comment.
The South of Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
South
that's
of
where he's
Canada.
from,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he's like,
Well,
like here I am rocking in Austin,
Dude, that's
he's
a
our
great-
generation's.
Dude, we
fucking
got to
Ted
make a
Nugent,
T-shirt for that.
Yeah.
It's the South of Canada, so we got to have a
Yeah.
Confederate flag, but with maple leaves instead of the sun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask. I saw you guys post that fucking crazy tattoo today. What the
Dude.
fuck, dude? A Care
evil
Bear,
Care Bear?
the evil fucking Care Bear. Dude, I'm gonna find a picture of it. I'm gonna use it for the clip
Yeah.
on the first one.
Well,
How-
she got
how
that a
we
while
might
ago.
even-
That's
I
Was
don't
it a
know.
while
It came up
That's-
today. It came up
yeah.
today. We got tagged in it, and so Taylor reposted it.
right,
So-
Right.
But
dude.
it's somebody that got this. They got this a while ago.
Did
a few
they?
years
It's
ago.
wild,
And it's
dude.
one of the few like we get. Yeah, there's definitely nighttime tattoos. He has.
There's a
one.
lot of
Dusty
tattoos.
has
Well,
one.
yeah, you
But I
guys
don't have
having
one.
one
I
is
don't
a
have one.
different fucking animal.
I don't
dude.
have one, dude.
No, I don't have one.
Oh, you didn't get it?
Huh.
Just
So
Dusty did.
Dusty's
Yeah,
the only
dude,
one
what
that
What a
has
poser.
one.
Yeah,
And you guys
he's
shit
not
on
here.
her
Dust
for
is the
moving
only
away.
one to be
Dusty.
moved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fucking
Yeah.
brutal.
Dude, I learned my lesson with tattoos.
Yeah.
I was all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude. So I mean, first of all, here's the only reference I have. The scavenger hunts, right? 86 scavenger hunts.
Right.
I won a couple of them, and at one point we put tattoos of my face as a Viking and Matt Barks'
I
one.
remember.
And there's
that.
a solid 9 or 10 people that literally have my face tattooed on them, which is fucking weird, right? But never a rap tattoo. There's never going to be one of those. Like, how weird is it to see that shit, especially like a
dude. We love
fucked
it.
up Care Bear,
No.
dude? Like,
Dude, we love it
Of
because
course you do,
I'll tell
yeah.
you what,
Yeah.
like every time there's moments. I mean, I have a moment at least once a week where I'm like, our band doesn't mean shit.
right?
You know, I'm
Totally,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, like thinking about it. I'm like,
Right.
nah, like it's
this is dark. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
like-
is this going to
like,
last in the
yeah,
history books?
or
kinda
like
whatever, yeah.
where's it, or like, you know, is it going where we want it to go, kind of thing. And
Right.
then that happens, right?
Jay, will you make me a?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then that happens.
Well, let me give you something real.
Oh shit,
Edit,
motherfucker!
edit.
I'm not editing shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely fucking make sure that we see Jay's an asshole. Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so then something like that happens once a week, and I'm like, okay, wait, like
Fuck, dude.
because
It's so
no,
wild.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We're by far like the biggest band. We're even by far the biggest mid-level band, but we're so many people's favorite band.
I know.
That's
That's crazy.
That means, dude, when Jay said earlier about like you could do it yourself these days, right?
Mhm,
And you could just kind of do what you do, right?
mhm.
I'm finding that more and more true every day. It's like as long as you have your people,
Right.
you know, like you
Right.
can just
1,000 true fans.
Dude,
you know what I
totally,
mean? That's
dude.
all you need.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
amazing.
you can
man.
you can
Really.
keep if you keep supplying them with quality shit, you know,
Right.
and like you keep you're not, you know, you're not above them, right?
Right.
You're willing to communicate with them, and when they want to show you that they got a fucking tattoo, the least you could do
Crazy.
is fucking share it,
Repost
right?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and tell
totally,
them
man.
like, dude, that's amazing, you
Yeah.
know, like that kind of shit is what like I get real excited about
Dude,
because
it's
I'm
insane.
like,
I
dude,
saw
look
today,
at
I was like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, because like at least like
Yeah.
I've got a couple maybe like band tattoos of other bands. Like if that band acknowledged that, you know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
it'd be
though?
amazing,
like
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like
It'd be insane.
it's just
yeah.
like I have favorite
dude, I
bands.
have fucking
I got
neurosis,
P. Diddy on my taint.
Times
Right,
of
thanks.
Grace tattooed on my hand. They're my favorite band of all fucking time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And-
post
and
a
there's-
picture of that. Will they
I
reshare
did.
it?
You know, I don't give a
Maybe.
fuck.
I don't
Whatever.
know.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
but-
matter. That it's the most
they're
important
pretty
band to
big
me.
band.
You know what I mean? Like it's the most fucking
Yeah, but there
important
are
band.
people
to me.
that really do appreciate that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and it can really fucking makes their fucking day
Right.
or month or
Right.
year. If
Or a year. Yeah.
with that
totally.
acknowledgement or like, you know,
Yeah.
like to show us that in person and be like,
It's
look
just
at this,
wild
what I
that
did. I'm
someone's
like,
gonna wear
I'm
that.
like, what's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah.
I love you. Thank you. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Also, like,
awesome.
kind of stay away from me.
No,
you know?
Nah, see,
This is
see,
jokes.
Yeah,
you
I
know what's crazy? Like, there's so many people. Like, the more you travel, you realize, man, people are weird,
I know.
right? Like,
They're fucking weird. And I've said this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And I said it on the last podcast. Me and John C argued constantly whether the Wrath was a metal band or a punk band.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He sticks
Let
to
me
his
guess
guns.
who
about
wanted-
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Called it. What?
And I always told him metal fans are so much better. They're so much better as fans. They don't ask you to get into the show
Yeah.
for free. They don't ask you for a discount on the fucking
they'll
merch.
buy it all.
They buy everything they want. You know what I mean? And plus some.
Yeah.
And then they make their own.
Me and
You know
John
what I
C
mean?
used to say, we used to talk about the same thing, and we used to say that guys in punk bands are cool. Like, the bands are cool,
Right.
but the fans, like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah,
and,
it's
and the
insane.
we'll take the
Punk.
metal fans
Yeah.
and like the
Yeah.
the guys in the punk bands, you know,
Right. Right.
because it's like, you know, some of the, I mean, there's plenty of great metal, cool guys in
Oh,
metal
there's
bands now,
everything
but
is
they,
also-
but only because they come from like the DIY punk ethos,
yeah.
right?
Right.
But the bands that we've gone out with that are like come from the metal world, it's
Mhm.
just like, yeah,
They're
they-
diehard. Dude.
but you know,
Yeah,
the
it's
guys
totally-
in the bands though, they're just
They're not.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they're not as
GGBBs.
they're,
right?
yes, exactly.
Remember this
exactly.
term?
Well, no, but
Good
not
guys.
even that.
Yeah. Good
Not
guys.
even that.
Well,
but good
great-
guys, bad bands. No,
or,
I'm saying
or great band, weird guys.
right, right.
Yeah.
It's reversed.
GBWB.
Yeah.
It's reversed.
Yeah,
W.
totally.
W.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I
hang
always
on. Let me
argue.
just really quick finish, because when I said
let's
people
do it.
are weirdos, yes, like they are. You just got to understand everybody is just different in the world.
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
we're weirdos
Yeah.
to fucking normal people.
Yeah.
Look at us like, what the fuck are you
100%,
guys
dude.
doing?
Yeah.
Going
But-
in a fucking getting in a van,
But-
driving around
For
fucking
months,
The
you know?
one
Yeah.
thing that I would
That's
advise
weird.
everybody to do is spend a little bit less time on social media.
A lot.
Use it as a tool to
Mhm.
get your stuff out. Communicate with the people that are communicating back
That
with you.
fuck with you.
But yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like, don't judge your following on what that feedback is, because it's crazy. I've realized this because this is where I started to get down for a while. I'm like, man, like we're not getting as many likes as we used to, or
Mhm.
whatever,
Right,
or
right.
you know, we're not getting as many comments as we used to, or whatever, right? But when I really look at it, like when the things pop up, like the tattoos, you know, or somebody says, I listened to the podcast and this happened, you know,
Mhm.
like people are listening, people are
Oh, totally.
people
Yeah,
are watching your shit, and it affects them way deeper than you know.
100%.
Social media is not a reflection of that. We think it is, but it's not.
Right.
So when you see Kim Kardashian getting a million likes on a
Railed
post,
by RJ.
yeah.
That's what I'm
But
talking
wait,
about.
no, but check this out. Check this out.
I
When-
know what you're
When
saying.
she's getting
and
a
I
million
totally-
likes on a post, she's actually affecting probably 10 million people.
Right.
Right? Really? Like
Yeah.
there's,
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
people
Yeah,
that don't click like or comment that are like, they're having a whole conversation with their family about it, right? So the same is happening with all of us.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're getting fucking
Yes.
100, 200, 300 likes on a fucking photo. But really, I mean, how many times do you scroll through something and you see it and you don't like it,
Yeah.
you don't interact with it?
No,
You know,
It
being
doesn't
like,
mean I hate it.
being a content creator now, I do make more of an effort to, if I really like something, I like it,
think
you know,
about it in
But-
that way.
and you do
because
think
it's,
about it in that way
you know.
because that's what we're trying to build here.
Yeah.
But it really does fucking make a difference. And the only thing that makes a major difference in the majority of our lives is music, dude.
Yeah.
And it's the one
Every day.
fucking thing that, and I had this conversation a while ago. It was like, there's a couple things that music does that nothing else in this universe does. It brings you to a time and place. It like makes you think about a fucking memory,
Yeah.
bad, good, whatever the fuck it is. You know, maybe smells, maybe like there's a
Just
couple
lots
of
of
things.
smells, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Lots.
not, you know,
Lots.
But
Some
like
good.
music is the
Occasionally,
fucking
you
great
know?
translator of all fucking time and space, dude. And there's a reason it's like as musicians, we get so fucking
A little more
tired
Coke.
of playing Night Demon, you know, and like as much as we're over it,
Yeah.
that fucking does something for people that we can't ever grasp.
That's what
Just
keeps
like
you going.
Hearing
It's it.
fucking anything from Metallica or fucking whatever,
Yeah.
whatever our favorite band is, that time and place brings you to a spot where you cannot recreate it with anything
Dude, I
else.
still
but
even
that,
remember
you
the
know?
first Wrath record. I remember I was in
man.
I was at Rick Hunter's upstairs when I was in No Motive and Roger was recording you guys.
Right.
And I heard the first, like the very first riff you guys played. Like, and to me, like these guys are like, yeah, we're like kind of like we're like Black Flag, like meets Trouble or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this to me, I was like, this sounds like Corrosion of Conformity.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
COC, dude.
yeah, you
Definitely
know,
COC
and it
shit.
was like, but it was like cool because I was just like, oh fuck. So like we all have our moments of like memories of music,
Right.
like when we first hear them, where it was, right? Like what it means to us, what it brings us back to, you know, things like that.
It's one of the only things.
I've said this before, but the first time and the only time I've ever heard Wrath was the last time they played at Bombay's.
Oh, John C
And
was so drunk.
I was so
he was
so pissed. I was so pissed. I'll never forget going sitting there watching the show, going, "How the fuck have I missed this
Dude,
shit?"
they played for like fucking 2 hours and 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It was like,
We were on ecstasy.
oh, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
okay,
We took
yeah.
Molly
That's what it
halfway
was.
through the
Yeah.
set, dude.
Because he was
It was
doing his-
wild.
He was doing his
Yeah.
upbeat with his head down.
Yeah.
But I still saw the eyes.
Oh, we were
Yeah.
we were fucking bawling on Molly.
I was on
dude.
the stairs at Bombay at that
Right.
record and just looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's wild, man. I mean,
And it's still, it goes through my head all the time, but I have sent you text messages before because part of like my end of the week fucking thing will be, and yeah, my dick have definitely sent you that. But my end of my week towards the later half of the day, you know, I've listened to audiobooks, I've listened to podcasts, and then it's like, okay, it's
Right.
time to go. End of the day, I want to feel good. Always go to Night Demon.
right.
And I'll
Totally.
say, and I send you, you know, I've said, I know I've done it at least twice where I've been like,
Right.
Yeah.
end of the day,
Check it out.
my Friday, bro,
Right.
thinking of you, listening to you, man.
Right.
And then I will just listen
Friday
at the end of the
night.
day. Oh, dude,
Right.
just
And Jay,
on it.
Jay is trying not to be sappy today, but it's coming up on a fucking massive anniversary, and he loves you to death.
Yeah, you
That's
know
what
that.
he's told
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know,
yeah,
look,
no, that's not.
And
yeah,
it's funny
that's fine.
because
Yeah.
you know, actually you know, I told Portia once when she was cutting my hair, I said, you know, man, it's crazy. Like, cause she's like, you guys sell all this merch, right? And I go, yeah, but I'm sitting on a bunch of 2X and 3XL shirts. And she's like, I think I might know somebody who wants that shit. And so I just like fucking one day I just brought, I just gave her like one of every
Everything.
design.
Yeah.
I got him. She's like,
I
good.
got
I don't
him.
have to buy his
Yeah.
ass clothes.
that may have literally been the only time I've ever worn a red shirt since I was probably in elementary school was the red Night Demon shirt.
Nice.
Is
That's
that
the
was
classic one.
the only time because of how
Yeah.
I grew up, nobody wore red, and where I grew up, nobody wore red.
The Bloods, baby,
You know,
the Bloods,
yeah.
baby.
Fuck that, cuh. You know, but that was But and also,
I thought the
also,
Crips are from Northside in Oxnard.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
it Northside Gangster Crips?
Right.
That's when I went to
Yeah.
Fremont. That's what they
That's
said.
right,
Yeah.
man.
I'll give you some of my cousin's numbers. You can talk to them.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, you don't want to get
but
involved
also
in that.
in
dude.
giving me those shirts,
Mhm.
here, Portia, these shirts are for you.
Mhm.
I'm giving you these shirts, and you can give them to Jason.
Yeah.
But these shirts are from me to you, and you can give them to Jay.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah, man.
hilarious. I laughed so hard when she gave me that shit. I was cracking up. And
Yeah,
same
man.
with the tickets to go see Frost and Fire.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh man, and I'm again. That was, and I'm seriously will be talking after this and get the dates and stuff. If I can go.
For
I'm
sure,
gonna
man.
because that Frost and Fire shit was, of all the years that I've done shows here,
Yeah.
and
Dude, you gotta come to
worked
Ireland. dude.
we're gonna talk after this.
We
For
got all
sure,
the
we're gonna
Irish
talk
metal
about
bands
this,
playing
man.
too, like the
Oh,
biggest ones, Gamma Bomb.
Yeah, I was going to ask who's
Gamma
who's
Bomb.
up there.
So
as
we
far
got
as that goes?
so we got Brian Downey, the original drummer of Thin Lizzy. He's doing he's got his own sick Lizzy
band.
tribute. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's coming up. Satan is coming from Newcastle. Sarah
Okay.
Thungel's gonna be
Nice.
there. will be there. Witch Hazel, coming from Manchester, England. They're a fucking awesome band. Dread Sovereign from Dublin. Gamma Bomb from well, they're from everywhere, Ireland. They're like a thrash band. They're like the biggest kind of Irish metal band.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And who else? Midnight's gonna be there. Darkest Era, they're another cool Irish
Midnight's
band.
coming too.
Mhm.
Nice. Awesome.
And
It's kind of
Mithra from Newcastle. They're like a
Mithra boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
they're great.
we got it all.
Awesome, man.
We'll be on that whole tour we're doing coming up
Okay.
is with Midnight.
Awesome.
So it's kind of like
First
part of
over
like
the left.
Yeah.
this whole thing.
Well, yeah, that's great, man.
I'll take over now.
Yeah, get on in there, bro.
It's hard for you and I
There's
to
all
get
the
a word in.
information.
Yeah,
now.
it's hard for you and I
Don't
to even
ask me
talk.
anything. I
These
don't know
two
anything.
just are
I
going.
don't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Jarvis covers a lot, dude.
Yeah, hey,
So,
that's why he has that
you know,
job.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm the more.
You're the fucking man behind the mission, dude. We know that. We know that.
Will, you know.
Are you guys recording your own shit?
Yeah,
You
this
are.
time we are. Here's the thing. We've done this. So I did the first EP. I recorded that when those guys
Right.
was Brant and before John, Pat Bailey,
Yeah, Pat Bailey. Yeah.
and Jarvis. And so then when John came in the band and then the whole like the first full length record, like actually I recorded, there's a whole nother version of that record that I recorded that isn't the one that's out.
Oh, really?
The Curse of the Damned,
Right.
that eventually, in maybe another 5-10 years will
Right.
come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
20th anniversary, 10th
Right, right.
anniversary, whatever the
Right,
hell,
right.
when we're
Yeah.
really old,
Yeah.
But and then we've gone with Roger. Because like
Right.
the thing is with me, like I don't want to fucking record my
I
own
know,
shit.
dude.
It's
I
hard
feel
for
you,
me to
man.
like
I feel you.
step back.
Right.
But and then we've gone out and we did like with the singles, the whole idea was like let's work with different people on each
Totally.
song. And we got to work with some rad guys.
Didn't you
like,
say you got to go like Kurt Ballou got in on some shit?
he mixed a song?
Okay.
But we went to Albini's place in
Oh,
Chicago. We
dude.
recorded at fucking Albini's.
Did you
dude.
really?
Yeah,
you recorded Steve Albini's place?
dude. The
Please
song,
tell me about
okay,
it.
the song "Are You Out There,"
Okay.
which is like a Lizzie like kind of tribute song.
Right.
That 7-inch has that song, and then the B-side is a cover, a Thin Lizzy cover.
Right.
Sun Goes Down. But anyway, we were going to Chicago with Ungle for a
Mhm.
festival because we travel with those guys
Right.
regardless if we're playing or not. And the schedule was like kind of open. So we're like, dude, that's Albini's studios there.
Dude.
And you could just, it's like, dude. But
Yeah,
you just
I know.
call the studio
Really?
and be like, hey, what's Steve doing around fucking May 13th
Right.
to 14th?
You can still
yeah,
like
he's
get a hold
open.
of him. It's a fucking
Oh
whole
yeah,
deal.
man.
Wow.
He's great. And
Right.
so like we booked a day to do one song.
Okay.
We're like, let's get the music down
Right.
there. And that'll be the thing. We get to work with fucking Steve Albini.
Totally, dude.
It's like, okay, we got to buy a piece, a reel of tape because he still only works on tape.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he doesn't give a
wow.
fuck.
Oh, dude. That's
He's like,
fucking
I don't
awesome.
even know how to turn
Yeah.
a computer on.
I
I'm like,
literally have half
like,
a boner right
yeah.
now, dude. Thinking
I'm like,
about it.
yeah. Meanwhile, you're
Yeah.
watching cooking videos on your laptop. You don't know how to turn a computer on. It's just fuck up, dude. You know? But no. Bucket
Yeah.
list for me, for all of us. I mean, really bucket list thing. But it's
A
not
bucket
that.
list. Yeah.
You just gotta fucking pay him,
Right.
And he comes to work. When he goes to work,
Right.
he shows up and he says hello, and then he goes into the closet and he puts on his fucking jumpsuit,
Just like a
Like,
cover.
You wear
all-
the jumpsuit?
boiler
Oh,
man.
I love
dude,
it.
it's fucking for real.
Oh,
It's
I
got
love
the
it.
logo
God
and the
damn
studio
it.
on the back, like all hand spray
So
painted.
good.
And then he's just like, so what do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
Like,
Because he's a true engineer.
Yeah,
He's not a
producer.
fucking
He doesn't-
producer.
don't call him a producer.
Right. Yeah.
And he-
yeah.
you
I know
know,
that. Yeah.
And so we just did the thing, like we set everything up, and he's like, okay, and go get lunch because I'm gonna mic everything up now.
Right.
Talk to them like, oh, what do you
Does he talk to you about like tone or anything?
I mean, just
Not-
ask him. If you ask him anything, he'll answer you, and he'll either tell you like, I have no opinion about that. It's your music.
Well, there
That's
was
the
one
word he
thing.
said.
There was
that's what
one
he had
thing.
that,
So
you know?
good, dude.
There was
I
one
love
thing.
it. Like me and you, I
Yeah.
totally love that, dude.
There was
Yeah.
one thing that I
Yeah.
asked
Yeah.
him, and like,
Yeah.
dude,
We tried.
I tried. We were like struggling with like the.
Steve Albini, you know who Steve Albini is?
No, I was hoping you guys
Okay,
would explain
recorded
us.
Nirvana Records, fucking every
Before
fucking
that, Pixies,
Pixies,
like
everything you've ever
Page and
fucking heard in your
Plant.
life.
Okay.
Yeah.
An
and then
incredible
from the
fucking
90s, like
yeah, from the
that-
90s.
and
yeah.
he's got his own band, Shellac.
yeah,
Okay.
Shellac Sensation.
Big Black.
Big
Big
Black,
Black, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
but yeah, so he
like a true recording fucking
Purist.
savant,
Yeah.
engineer,
Purist guy.
purist, right? Yeah.
there was one
This is
thing.
real nerdy shit.
Yeah,
right
we
now,
were
by
like
the way.
really prepared with the song, but there was
You have to
one
be.
thing where I was like, there was like one note in this like intro like solo, and it didn't have many notes, and it was a harmony solo, and I go, man, like we're still me and him have been going up around
toying
for
with it.
fucking weeks, like, and we were there and we still didn't know like what's that one kind of note that it should go to. And so we narrowed it down to like 2 choices. And I asked him, I go, what do you think? Like, so this or this? And he's like straight up, like, he's like, it's your song, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, and in my
He's
mind,
so notorious for that.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
but in my
Because he
mind,
recorded a shitload of Neurosis
Yeah.
records. Too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
but in my
But
mind,
you
I'm
don't
like,
fuck with Neurosis.
I'm
You just
like-
let them do their thing.
They
Yeah.
do the
You
thing.
know?
but in
Yeah.
my mind, I'm like, dude, like, look, you got to understand something. Like, you know why we're here.
Right.
Like, we're here for your fucking 4 decades of expertise. Like, even if you didn't fucking influence any of those records, you were there and you knew what they did.
And you
know,
knew
it
what
sounds
sounded
good.
Like,
good.
what
yeah.
would like take the common denominator of Jimmy Page, Kurt Cobain, Joey Santiago, like
Frank
Black.
Frank
Frank
yeah,
Black,
right. Everyone else you've ever heard of.
Scott from
Scott
Neurosis.
Kelly,
Yeah,
yeah,
Scott
totally.
Kelly. Like, let's
Yeah.
let's what would they do? You know, like, and he's just like, it's not my song, man.
No,
Like,
it's your thing.
I
That's
love it.
that's the genius of it.
love it.
It's like,
Yeah.
I
this
love
is your
it.
music. I'm not
Yeah.
getting involved to sway you one way or the other.
Right.
You know,
but you know what made it
but
great?
he does have opinions about
Yeah.
a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Does he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
Okay.
remember
yeah.
setting up the drums, you know, and like Dusty picked out, you know, we went to the basement and like he has this like, you know, few drum kits in there.
Mhm.
Like, oh, what? Okay, cool. There's a fucking 24-inch kick, like, you know, big toms. Let's use this DW kit, you know.
Right.
Pulled it up and Dusty's doing his thing, you know, OCD doing his thing, tuning everything
Mhm.
up all crazy. And they were like, oh yeah, we should muffle, you know, put some tape on this shit. But he was like, no, nothing on the drum heads. I don't want any muffling. I want a bringy and all that. And I was like, I don't know, man.
And
It's
you're a
too-
recording engineer.
yeah,
You're a producer.
Like, I
You've
know
done
when
all
you
the
need a little bit
right?
of fucking
There's
shit.
some.
But he had a strong opinion about that.
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't want anything on anything. You know?
Right.
Like,
right.
so there's
Yeah.
that. But musically, he won't fuck with you.
Yeah, he won't.
You know,
Wow,
But you know what?
that's so
It was
weird, man.
You know what? There were a couple things like it was really good getting back in an analog studio. Even earlier fucking today before we came here, I was recording some vocals
Yeah.
and Armand was recording me, and I said, you know, I'm in a booth, we can't see each other, and I'm like, I think that line I sang was a little bit short, and he's like, well, it looks the right length, like. So now with
I can
digital,
see it
now
on
with
the
Right,
screen,
you
so,
can
so
see
now
it.
now,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
with digital, we
100%.
can see sound.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know, we could see the
Right.
the waveforms. But man, getting back to that whole analog thing, like it was really like you actually had to listen, you know.
Yeah.
But like, so we did all the tracks live, and
Right.
so I would say like when Dusty finally got a good drum take, I'd be like, okay, great, like let's keep that.
Mhm.
Let me go back in and fix these bass parts. And I'm like, I know, like on 4 different times of the song, like this shit just was wrong.
Right.
And he's like, well, I didn't think so. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now you have an opinion,
Oh,
right?
now you hear it.
but-
yeah,
but
okay.
he's
yeah,
like-
because maybe like I don't want to run another track.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. He's got shit to do.
But what
He's
he said-
180 years old. Yeah.
But what he said was, yeah. But what he said was, like, he's like, look, he's all just come in here. He's like, let's listen. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So we listened back, and I was like,
but he was right.
He was right.
Listen, it
He was
like,
right.
dude. It's fine.
he was right. And
good.
then,
Yeah.
then to even prove us wrong even further, no, about
Yeah.
him not wanting to do heavy lifting, we wanted to do this kind of fuzz kind of sound on one of Armand's leads,
Mhm.
and he's like, that's going to require a pedal and a different head, and so we, dude, both me and
No, I told him I
Yeah,
was like, I
we're-
know there's this thing I've read about
Yeah.
you talking about. You're like
Oh,
big blacks,
snap.
this like
Yeah. Yeah.
rack thing that does
Yeah,
this
yeah.
crazy fuzz. So I was like, where's that?
yeah.
But
But
Look it
like,
up,
but
you
we
know?
even said to
He
him,
did.
both he and I were like, we'll fucking we'll move the amps, like we'll do the
We'll do the work.
we'll do it. And he's like, and he refused because he's like, I'm wearing the fucking onesie, you know,
I'm the mechanic here, motherfucker.
and like he wouldn't let us fucking lift a finger, man.
That's
and he went and did
crazy.
it, and we just had to sit there and drink black coffee and watch him do it.
Dude,
you know,
great coffee.
What
by
a
the way.
cool fucking.
He's really
there's
serious about
no
his
way
coffee,
That guy doesn't
like-
drink good
Nothing
coffee,
better
dude.
than
No,
good
he had this
coffee.
weird like frappe thing that his assistant would make. It's like very fucking.
Did he have
Yeah.
a lot of help? Like
Nothing.
not at all. Nothing,
No,
right?
I mean, so the studio that he's got in Chicago, it's 2 studios, right?
Okay.
There's like the big
Studio
main
A
room.
and Studio B.
Yeah, the smaller room, and we booked out the big room, like fucking with him, because that's the thing. Like, we're here to do this
Yeah, let's do it.
full on, like whatever it costs, let's do it. And really, like his prices for what he's done and like his reputation, it's
Pretty
not that bad.
reasonable.
It's
Right.
reasonable.
Well,
and the more time you book too, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
you can stay
It's
there.
crazy. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Never mind.
well, I know Vitamin X.
Jarvis is over here
Vitamin
doing
X.
the numbers, dude.
Vitamin X. That's how we hooked up. Do you know that band Vitamin X?
Totally. They
So
recorded
they're-
with him?
Yeah, they're a
Really?
Dutch hardcore punk
Right.
band.
Like
They did
gnarly hardcore punk band.
They
Okay.
did 2 albums with him. Okay,
Yeah,
but they
in
did
one
them-
day.
no, they did it.
Yeah.
They did it.
67
10
songs.
days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
No, they
Yeah.
did it in a span of 10 days.
Right. Yeah.
A span of 10 days, and
Uh-huh.
like basically like the second record, like they had to sit on for 2 years and like never play any songs
Right.
live.
Right.
But they were like, we got 10 days in the studio with Albini. The
Why? So
rate
they did 2
the
records.
rate does not fluctuate. Like it's like this is the rate,
All right.
this is the studio rate, here's the rate for the tape, and
Mhm.
here's the rate for Albini. There's other guys that work there,
Right.
right? He owns it, but there's other guys that work there.
Ah, okay.
So no, I mean it's
what a cool experience.
it's
though, man.
about $2,000 a day.
Well, you know what though,
Yeah.
for the experience
Yeah.
to be able to fucking be in the presence of someone that is shockingly
Oh, dude.
talented. You know what I
And
mean?
we got to
And
sit
like,
with him in a moment.
Yeah,
we
fucking
broke
A,
him
man.
open. He'll open
Yeah.
a little
I'm
bit.
sure he
was
would.
telling
I'm
us
sure he
about,
would.
Let's not say some of the things he said on air.
right.
No. Just working with certain people and like
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
just the stories, and he was just
That's
like
beautiful,
That-
man.
that's
he was
worth
all
it
about
right
it.
there.
Oh yeah,
Just
he
opened
gave
it
us
up.
like some
I mean,
real.
like
he gave us
to
some,
be able to sit with
Yeah.
somebody at that level
Yeah.
and just
Right.
hear stories.
That's what it's about.
You know,
like,
who you
like
know,
people are
just,
like,
you know,
oh man, what would you do if you met fucking like your favorite guitar player
Right.
or whatever? You know, like I want to just sit down and pick up a guitar,
Pick his
and
brain.
be like,
yeah.
grab a guitar and let's fucking
Yeah, I don't
jam.
want to
Yeah,
get his
let's hang out.
autograph in a
Yeah.
line and
No.
tell him how much I love him.
No.
Like I want to hear like the real stuff.
Yeah,
Totally,
let's
dude.
So
talk
he-
about.
he
let's
told us
geek
the
out
real
on
stuff,
shit, you
you
know.
know?
And
And,
if you
and he
guys
let us
got to
film the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
And if you guys got to spend another fucking day with him, you know, it would have been probably he would have opened up over the
I don't
week.
know.
you
I think one day was enough. Like
No, my favorite part was him watching cooking fucking tutorials on YouTube as we're trying to work out.
Is he a
this
barbecue
epic
guy or
fucking
what's
part.
going on?
No, like French cuisine, like real techie
Real
shit.
snooty
Real
shit.
techie
Yeah.
shit, man. You know.
real quick, I want to
Anyway.
say fuck you guys.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit there
No
and listen
problem.
to everybody play guitar, but I will watch French
I will
cuisine
watch
cooking
Snooty
over
ass.
and over
I mean,
and
I ain't
over.
gonna eat
If
snails.
you guys
and
want to
shit,
come to
man.
the
Come
house,
on.
I'll cook for you, and you guys will be stoked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's the second part of the
Anyway.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking do a
man.
live
I watch
stream it.
so much cooking shit; it's ridiculous,
Well,
man.
bring it
That's
on,
all I
man.
do. Oh, for
Let's do
sure,
a heavy metal
for sure. We'll
cooking
make
show.
that happen.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
we have the night
Yeah.
team and hot sauce.
Oh, yeah.
check
That's
that out.
right.
Yeah.
dude.
Boy, it better
Here's
be
our
hot,
show.
man.
We should do some
What
content
can you do
with
with
the
the
fucking
sauce?
hot sauce, dude.
Yeah.
Jason.
Oh yeah. No, I'll figure out something.
Dude,
Insane,
dude,
yeah.
let
Yeah,
me
I'm a crazy cook. I love
remind
to
me.
cook.
I'm gonna hook you up with some of the hot sauce. You
Oh,
let me
heck
know.
yeah.
And our hot sauce is pretty cool. It's called Heavy Metal Heat.
Mhm.
You can get that at nightdemon.net/merch.
Slash.
Yeah.
merch.
Where will you be able to get this
Well,
beer that you're getting set up for?
Well, the beer is going to
the
be available.
16th?
Yeah.
The beer is
Casa
going to be
Agria.
available just at Casa Agria for now. Man, there are so many
So
crazy.
when is that?
April 16th. There's so many.
But also
No one's
through their-
listening
their
at this
online
point, dude.
shop.
Like this is gone way too long. Trust me.
You know,
Craig's gonna sit and
People are
edit this.
listening.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, you'd
editing
be
the shit
surprised,
out of
man.
But
Yeah.
no, the hot sauce is going really good. It's made by a company out of Oakland called Hella Hot Sauce, and
heard of it. Heard of
they've
it?
got so
No, you
now
haven't.
at the Belasco.
Oh, yeah, I have.
At the Belasco in LA, where
Word.
you saw us,
Yeah.
they have that now on at the menu full time for their wings, and also at the Fillmore in San Francisco, they are picking it.
Damn.
They're picking.
Oh shit!
Hang
So
on.
it's not
Let me
bullshit.
interject.
Uh,
Okay, when you Craig
Right.
came with us for
Right.
that show, right? Helped us out.
Correct.
At
So
no
surprising.
point did you see hot wings.
Not
anywhere.
at all.
Neither
None.
did we.
Zero.
But
didn't.
they had fucking hot wings made with our hot sauce.
Really? The
there.
whole time?
Yeah.
What
And they were
fuck?
the biggest seller of the night
I was
to where
so
they kept
fucking
it
hungry the whole time. You know how many
Me
peanut butter
too.
jelly
No.
sandwiches I ate that night?
They
dude?
kept it on the menu.
Obviously, a lot.
can
They
go
were
to that
free,
right?
place
They
and
were free.
order.
Yeah.
Free. Yeah.
You can still get that shit. They make
awesome.
supposedly they
Yeah.
kept it going.
Yeah.
But we never even tried it.
I know
out.
we didn't even get it.
What the fuck?
That's brutal.
And
dude.
I
Yeah.
remember talking to you like, man, there's got to be a taco
I
truck
know,
around here somewhere. Like,
I
hey, if
ate
you're
at the
outside,
fucking
can you-
taco truck across the street, dude. But well, hey man,
Anyway.
I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate
Yeah,
you guys
thank
coming
you.
on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to fucking play
Dude, it's gonna be
16th
great.
of
awesome.
April. I'm so stoked you guys allowed us to grace
Oh,
your
come on.
presence. You know what I mean? Yeah, April 16th is gonna be fucking awesome. Come check it out. Nightdemon.net
Net.
for everything fucking Night Demon, which is a lot. There's a lot, on
lot.
there. Check out
Lot
the
of good
fucking
stuff.
podcast. Check out everything they're doing, man. Savage motherfuckers. Check out our shit. Rate, subscribe, review, blah, 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 blah. Buy some merch. All right.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
cheers,
Beautiful.
everybody.
All right.
Later.
Have a good night,
Slancha.
good day, whatever it is, whatever time it is you're listening. to this.
Beautiful.
Damn, I feel like I'm working over here.
That's what we do, dude. We put you to work. Steve Albini style.
That was the best podcast I've ever done.
Well,
dude.
thank you, man.
It just seems like we're just hanging out, dude.
That's what we
That's the
want.
idea, man.
You know what I mean?